I've got this weird technical thing with my hey Bob, how you doing? Got this weird technical thing with my laptop where for some reason it doesn't recognize headphones unless I restart it with the headphones already plugged in. And I completely forgot I plugged the headphones late, so I had to kind of restart. So sorry about the double ping for the stream. Anyways, welcome. How are we doing? I see we have Bree here and Bob. Welcome. Yeah, you guys were here last week, so you saw our little garden mermaid. For those catching up, we did a poll to name her, and you guys came up with the name of Annie. So that's her official name, Annie, short for anemone, and Pound Cake is the little frog because yeah, that was just the best name ever, so we're keeping it. Okay, amazing. So yeah, no, this week, I mean, this month, I'm kind of keeping this kind of like character design theme throughout, just because on the actual classes taking place on Sundays, we're doing character design, so it's a good way to like connect those two things and keep the character design theme alive and honestly help me be on top of character design for the classes. So that's what we're doing. And today, you guys had three options to pick from. Once again, I'm lost what I'm going to do. Oh no, Pop. Oh no. Did you lose it as in like, did you delete the file accidentally, or are you just like at a loss at what you're going to do? So yeah, no, you guys had a couple of options, and you guys picked a prehistoric mailman. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a postman, postwoman, in prehistoric times. It's gonna be very silly, but I hope it's gonna be very fun. But I don't know what I want to do. Ooh, you could try do one of the other prompts if you want to. I want to study, but I have low attention span as always. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, maybe honestly, just do some doodling, do some drawing with us. Drawing along is always fun. If you need inspiration, the other two prompts were a candy brawler and a snail rancher. So, if any of that feels like something. Or, little plug, you guys can take place or start working on your submissions for this month's art challenge. So, if you guys don't know, we have a Discord. I need to get this on. I see. I generally can't work without Vin. I am absolute mess for plugs and things. Just so terribly bad. Okay. Let me do the plug thing. Back to OBS. There we go. So we have a Discord. The Pop, you're in the Discord. So yeah, it's hard to study without a friend. Aww. So yeah, if you guys join our discords, there's a monthly challenge, a monthly art challenge. Sometimes it's monthly, sometimes it's like bi-weekly or something. But this month we're celebrating Pride by doing a rainbow palette challenge. So there's a couple of I mean, not a lot of rules really. Just put as much chroma as you can into your drawing, and also a couple of additional ideas and additional prompts that you can use for like your design or your idea and stuff. It's pretty open ended, but you can always work on that while we're doing the stream. So my idea for this match challenge is too ambitious for my current skill set. Oh no, Bob. What is your idea? I'm curious actually. I want to know what your wonderful idea is. Um and while we do that, let me get started on this. Either very pop art or stained glass. Oh wow. Ooh, stained glass. I've never actually worked with stained glass. I've seen a lot of videos of people working with stained glass. It seems daunting. The soldering part, I feel like if I had the tools, I could possibly do an okay-ish job at, but the glass snapping and glass cutting part, ooh, yeah, that seems daunting. I mean, you could always do like the design of like a 2D version, like a drawing version of what that glass would do. Try drawing stained glass art before with Ibis paint tutorial lol. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's nice. Does it add like does it do like, are you trying to replicate kind of like that feeling of transparency that the glass has, or just like fully going very graphical with it? Because honestly, going very graphical with this is a pretty good idea too. It's a lot simpler. You don't have to worry about, God, drawing glass is a pain in the ass. I do not like drawing glass. I have a couple of like shortcuts for it, and whenever I do draw it, I usually look at a lot of reference because Yeah, yeah, it's challenging. It's weird to understand like as a concept when you're looking at glass exactly how the reflections are working, much less actually draw them or like come up with like from your imagination how those things would actually go. So yeah, maybe graphic. Definitely. Mm. Okie dokie. So um what was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? Yes, we're gonna actually work on today's prompt. She'll use multiply the glass texture. Ooh. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I've never tried that out actually. That sounds like a cool stuff. Maybe I don't know. Do I want to put myself through that? So maybe we could do an episode on like drawing glass. But also I don't know if I want to. It's that, it would be very useful and good for you guys to know, but also like, do I actually want to put myself through that, you know? Hey Kyle. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Hi Hannah, how you doing? Oh my God, congratulations to the both of you. If you guys don't know, I don't want to say for privacy reasons, but just say congratulations to Kyle and Hannah. Oh man. Okay, so I've got some reference of male men and male women. Mostly like vintage because I think that's the most recognizable kind of like male outfit with like the little cap and the stuff. So like I generally got some like old photos and things of that sort. Like look at this happy man. Very very nice. So we're I think we're gonna go with that vibe and try to get like a little bit of a ooh I return. Hey Mahi, welcome. Even if I don't know, congrats. Exactly, Bob. Welcome, welcome, Mahi. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and do something like that. That's a little bit like retro, because I feel like the retro look of a postman, like that kind of like almost American postman kind of look, or like old British kind of like this is kind of the vibe where I think of when I think of like post worker. So I think we're gonna go with like that vibe. But then obviously inject a lot of like prehistoric things. And my main idea that I had is I want to have a dinosaur in here. I know prehistoric times humans and dinos did not live together, but it's fucking cool and I love doing it. And dinosaurs are amazing and I like putting humans and dinos together. So we're doing it. We're becoming creationists and putting humans and dinosaurs together. Oh gosh. My compulsive worker here. I'm judging you. Ooh, oh Mahi, no. Oh no, I have scrutiny today. Um, well, it's ancient times, so I do love the outfits though. 10 out of 10 with outfits. I feel like those uniforms are so incredibly recognizable. Also, if you hear screaming as if people are being tortured, there's a school nearby and they're out for recess, and it generally sounds like they're killing each other. I think they're just having fun. But goddamn, I don't know if you guys can hear it. It generally sounds like a massacre's happening outside. Whew. Oh, they're playing like cricket or something. Yeah. That's insane. Anyways, okay. So, favorite type of dinosaur I think are the avian ones. I just freaking love me a big chicken. So, I think we're gonna try to do like an avian dinosaur. Like pretty much with what we did last week. I think I'm gonna like really roughly kind of like lay out what I want to like work with. And then we're gonna kind of like make it so in like a more interesting kind of pose. I think the idea of avian dinosaur is kind of cool. Like riding on an avian dinosaur. Why specifically avian? Because first of all, they're the coolest feathers, awesome. But also like the idea of like when I think of postal animals, I think of doves and pigeons. Because like they are like they've been used for like airmail for like a while, like the idea of training a pigeon and then releasing it far away from where you are for it to come back home and stuff. Messenger birds, big thing, big part. Yeah, exactly, Mahi. Like it's a big part of like what I think of when I think of like the post, especially if like you're taking it back in time. Like yeah, without getting too too inaccurate about it, but like messenger birds, big part of the whole thing. I'm pretty sure they were used up to like World War I and two even. Like I don't know. I seem to vaguely. I don't take any of the things I'm saying. Uh, I might be completely wrong here, but for me, the vibe of like a messenger pigeon is like pretty strong. So I'm thinking of maybe making like a very pigeon-like dinosaur, and giving it that kind of like, pigeon vibes, just because it makes me think of like messenger birds. So, we might give it kind of like a more like less strong neck kind of like thing, or something like that, a bit more avian, and maybe like a little bit of a round head. I'm just like drafting out some vague shapes. I want to make the head kind of big to make it cute, but like, also beak like and stuff. So maybe something like this. I'm not looking at any specific dinosaur. I just have a bunch of different dinosaurs, and I'm like trying to get like a dinosaur-ish vibe from it. There's a good war messenger bird animated film called Valiant. Ooh, I didn't know that, Kyle. How come I haven't seen that? That sounds awesome. Is it like about war? Like, is it like, I'm guessing animation maybe, or is it live action? Is it like a full-on documentary kind of vibe? Hmm. I'm just bugging poor Kyle. He's supposed to be working right now. He just puts me in the background, and I'm like, please engage with me, Kyle. Thank you. No, it's like kids animated. Oh, nice. That's actually kind of cool. Despite like the actual like quality of the film, like the messaging and the writing and stuff, I really fucked with Guardians of Gahul. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. That was also about an animated film about birds. In this case, owls. I hear the books are much better though, but like I really liked the movie as a kid. I was like, yeah, this laps. It's just owls fighting other owls and bats. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Zack Snyder one. Yeah, yeah, the Zack Snyder one. It's a weird movie, man. But there's some like really cool shots in there. I mean, that's Zack Snyder in a nutshell. Weird quality movie, but some really cool shots in there somewhere. That's pretty much what I think of when I think Zack Snyder, anyways. I'm thinking some of these like pterodons, they have like these cool like crests and stuff, and maybe we could give like one of these like crests to our. I know it's again like I'm not doing a specific dinosaur. I'm doing like a random fantasy because I want to emphasize the fact that this is like very fantastical and stuff. So like maybe something like that. I'm doing creature design. I don't often do creature design, so I need a little bit of leeway here because I'm not especially good at creature design. But something like this I think could work. Longer legs I think definitely make it look more avian. I think longer legs will help with that. Yeah, make it look more chicken. Maybe even have it like taking a step like that. I think this does make it look a lot more avian. And maybe like the little arms over here. Make them barely arms. Something like this, I think, can give us like that vibe of dinosaur and pigeon at the same time, maybe. Oh, the owl one. I love that, and I'm normal about it. Barn owls are my favorite animal. Yeah, I love owls as well. Owls are like they freaking slap. I was literally having dinner with some friends this Tuesday, I want to say. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, it was definitely Tuesday. And one of them is like a huge fan of barn owls as well. He showed me like 50 pictures of him with different holding different barn owls. Like really freaking loves them. Honestly, I get it. They're really great. Gallimimus. Gallimimus. Let me look up Gallimimus. Thank you, Mahi. Gallimimus. Oh yeah, it is kind of Gallimimus vibes, to be honest. Yeah, very Gallimimus vibes. That's kind of the vibe I want to go for. Just like a bit cartoonish Gallimimus, with some like stuff that the Gallimimus definitely didn't have, or possibly didn't have. What's funny about dinosaurs is that like a lot of the time there's certain things we're pretty sure are there and certain things we're pretty sure aren't there, and then there's just a bunch of stuff in between we just don't know. We're just not sure at all. It's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Could be. um, maybe bigger, kind of like wing things. I know they're not. necessarily wings like the dinosaurs. Most avian dinosaurs didn't necessarily have wings. I don't think. I think it was more like we did have the first like I think oh God, what's the name of the first winged dinosaur fossil we ever found? That one that's kind of like really like insanely complete and like the guy's kind of like in a really awkward pose like this. You guys know the one I'm talking about, right? I forgot what that's called. Dinosaur nerds, please come to my help. Yes, that one. That one's I think the first like flight dinosaur, like avian dinosaur that we found or something like that. I am way out of my element here. Uh, no god. Okay, I'm gonna maybe try and make the not beak be a bit lower to try to give it like more of a white face. It's also going to be happy. This is going to be kind of like a wholesome one, kind of like we did with the mermaid. I think I'm going wholesome this month. I don't know. Just I'm feeling kind of wholesome. Um, Something like that. Archaeopteryx. Thank you, Mahi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is exactly the one I was thinking about. So I don't know if I'm right in saying that it's the first avian flying dinosaur that we found, or like the first transitional fossil to like confirm the whole relationship between like modern birds and avian dinosaurs, or something of that sort. But it is a very famous one, that's for sure. So props to Archaeopteryx. I think it's the oldest one. Oh, the oldest one. Nice. Maybe a little bit of a bump here because I know pigeons have like a little bit of a bump there, so maybe a little bit of a bump there, and maybe we get rid of the crest and instead give him a little hat. I think. Yeah, we could make this smoother. Maybe make the neck a bit fatter. I don't know. Something like that. I'm going very rough here, but I think I want to have our character riding this like pigeon like bird. I think that's the most fun thing I could come up with because like I could do just like a normal character with a messenger pigeon style dinosaur on their shoulder, but I think the idea of riding it is kind of cute, kind of fun. So I think I'm gonna go with that. Maybe actually, if we want him to ride it, maybe we do make this a bit more like this, like go a bit more up like that, because that's a better shape for like putting a saddle down there, and also more funny. Yeah, I think that's better. We might move the leg a bit back. Bloop, 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 bloop. This is essentially how like I plan out these things, especially when I'm doing creature design. It's just about like a lot of side views of things to try and like get like the actual like silhouette that I'm looking for, right? And then we can like add stuff on top of it, but kind of like silhouette vibes. So yeah, hey, Galactic. God, I'm bad at reading. Hey, Galactic, welcome back. For some reason, this kind of reminds me of my friend who really loves dinosaurs. He likes sharing some info about dino. Yeah, honestly, I love people who love dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are like, I'm casually in love with dinosaurs. I love them a lot, and I was really into them as a kid. But I'm terrible at remembering the names of them, and I haven't really kept up that much. So aside from like binging a bunch of videos on paleontology and like new discoveries and stuff, I'm not that well versed into them, but I love meeting people who are, because yeah, it generally like it's just so entertaining to hear about dinosaurs. Love them. Archaeopteryx just means ancient wing. Hell yeah, that's a badass name actually. Ancient wing. Oh, that should be the name of like a Pokemon. Those names are so funny. Yeah, they are. Ancient wing. That slaps. Okay, so maybe something like this. I might go a bit more dinosaur-y with it. And again, I'm doing very undinosaur-like things, just like what we collectively think of as dinosaurs. Not like the real actual dinosaurs, but like, what we erroneously pictured dinosaurs as being. It's kind of like the design philosophy that we got from like past Paradox forums and like the last mainline Pokemon game. It's less actual like dinosaurs and more like the idea of prehistoric in a cartoonish kind of sense. That's kind of the vibe I'm trying to go for here. So that kind of like idea of prehistoric, like a bit more Flintstones and a bit less Walking with Dinosaurs. I just generally, it's a vibe that I enjoy. I'm really glad you guys picked it because I know we already did something in this kind of like vibe. Um, what do we, like the Rosalina one, I think. Yeah, the Rosalina was like this kind of idea as well of like ancient, ancient kind of things. But I just, yeah, I kind of love it. It's an aesthetic I'm really fond of. So I'm glad we got to do this. We got to do it again. Um, Maybe I give them a bit like heftier, heftier kind of like legs, a bit more like that to like be able to support like a human rider. Like same kind of pose, but like something more like that. And maybe for the wings, let me actually make this head bigger to make it look cuter and more like childlike. I'm just slowly creating a chocobo, aren't I? Kinda, kinda. So like something like this, I think, and then when it comes to the wings, we could do a bit more like raptorial kind of vibes, like having actual like an actual kind of like claw or something. Again, very non-realistic here, but very fun. I do really like learning about like actual facts and actual parts of dinosaurs and things of that sort. But I also really love being able to just then take all of that knowledge and do absolute whatever with it. Um, I think that's one of my favorite parts of art in general, though. Like the mixing and matching. You get like this actual visual library that like gives you really good info into like what you're actually like having to draw. It gives you like a lot of like background and stuff, and then you're like, okay, let me just cast all of that aside just to do something that looks kind of cool. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. Let's give it like a big fluffy, like a big fluffy front kind of thing. I think that's do I have any pigeon pictures? I do have a couple of pigeon pictures. Because they have there's like those like ringed pigeons that have like the really cute like fluff collar kind of thing. So like something like this I think is pretty cool. It's a really weird creature and a really weird mixture of things, but I think this is pretty adorable and it's probably gonna be like what we go for here. So now how big do I actually want to make the the pupils? I think I want to make them quite big. Make it very cute. Yeah, there we go. So this is our male pigeon. This is what our male pigeon's gonna look like, I think. And then we just gotta saddle her up and put our character in it. I think actually I kind of like this pose. Let me actually like let's like do a little bit more of a running kind of like actively on the like actively taking a step kind of thing, so then we can give a little bit more movement and action to it, but I don't mind having this kind of like side view, so I think it's pretty neat. So something more like this. You can see that like I'm focusing very much on like those big shapes that kind of like define movement and define these kind of like exaggeration lines rather than actually like focusing too much on like the details. And that's kind of like how I work, especially with this type of stuff. Like it's at this point it's less about like actually having anatomy for me as much as it is like communicating an interesting shape to that anatomy. So like having something like this where like they're kind of like running. I might also come in here, get the main torso of our creature and kind of tilt it a little bit. So I feel like if it was running forward, it would be like tilted a little bit like this. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure about the tail scale now, but maybe we could put it like we could literally put a logo on it. So actually, yeah, the like mailman logo. It's so silly. Uh, yeah, this is really stupid, but I kind of love it. We could do like the feathers end here kind of vibe, and then there's just like a more scaly, kind of like more typically reptilian kind of tail. Blip. Something like that. Do you know what I do love about dinosaurs and ancient creatures though? Is it really does make you realize that like most like animal groups that we have in the modern day are like absolute fucking bullshit. Like we've just decided to draw a line between things that we observe as very different today. But like the more you go back, the more everything blends into each other. And I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. Really a reminder that like nature's not a thing that's really like easy to categorize and falls into neat little boxes. Reality doesn't. We just as humans like to do that because it makes it easier to digest things if we put them into nice little boxes, but nothing exists in a nice little box. So paleontology is a really good reminder of that. I think that's a pretty good post. We have like a pretty nice friendly parrot thing, pigeon thing. Uh, I just need to put a human into this. Amazing. Okay. Duh, 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 duh. Pulling out my outdated dinosaur book from 1983. Oh God, my! I have so many outdated dinosaur books. It was one of my favorite things as a kid was to read like encyclopedias. So I have like so many collections of like encyclopedias from like nature stuff to like geography to paleontology to like marine biology. Oh man, that's another one that's insanely cool. I feel like knowing about these things, or at least having an interest in these kind of things, really does help when it comes to actually like being an artist, because like it gives you like a bunch of things to reference back to, you know? It gives you like a bunch of stuff to be like, oh yeah, so like this is like this other thing, or like, oh, I need to design a thing. Cool. Let me dig into this visual library I have of like weird facts and stuff and make some relationships and call it a day from there. Like, I don't know. It's kind of cool. Okay, so we're gonna do some sort of seat. I don't think saddles were a very common prehistoric sight, so I'm gonna have to somehow make these feel quite prehistoric aesthetically, which again, our idea of what prehistory looks like is very different from what actually prehistory looked like. But I'm going for the vibes, not for the accuracy. There's a lot of these two could be the same dinosaur, but we don't really know. Oh yeah, there's a hell of a lot of that. Cause there's still a lot of that today. Of oh, these two could be maybe possibly the same dinosaur. Who knows? That's like still going on, I think. I think that's still a very, very big part of it. Okay, so maybe we could do with some like natural objects. Maybe if we work in some, I don't know, what would we like? Because a lot of the prehistory look, I think, comes down to the materials and the textures. Using a lot of like introducing a lot of woods, a lot of like furs, a lot of like pelts and like teeth and stuff of that sort really does give the vibe of prehistory. Um, Honestly, this is really stupid, but let's make the saddle out of rock, I think. It's stupid as heck, but it gives the vibe that we're going for, so it's a rock saddle. It's a rock fact. I think a rock saddle. That's way too stupid. No. Let's do something else. Let's do maybe like some hay or some leaves or something more like a little bit more comfortable. We could have the fur and then like imply that this is some sort of leather actually, and like just have the fur around it. And then like these for these ropes, for example, like I want to make them really like visible, like tangled fiber kind of vibes, because I think that does give that sense of like older kind of thing. So like something like this, I think works? Question mark. Yes, maybe perhaps. So maybe something like more plant fibery. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We might have like a drawn logo for like the mail. Um, we kind of have to decide what the heck that would be, but I think the bird's gonna be painted on with it. So that's pretty good for now. Let's actually go to actually like our character, the thing that we're actually doing character design for. So I'm keeping these in like a folder just like for the time being. Um, and just like keeping them here. And we're gonna actually do our character. I think I generally want them to be writing this thing. So I think I'm gonna try to like draw them in kind of like a writing position. It's great that I have zero reference of people actually writing anything. That's fantastic. Let me actually look up some horse riding. Oh gosh. Yeah, let me actually look up some horse riding poses. God damn. Yeah, something like this. Okay, that's pretty good. So yeah, so let's we would have their butt over here. So butt, legs, knees have to be like a little bit like bent and stuff to like fit over here. So like we would need a little bit of this. Uh that's if that's the size we're going with. We could like make them a lot bigger than the dinosaur actually though. Make the dinosaur feel even smaller. And cuter. It's just really strong, okay guys? It's a really strong dinosaur. Maybe they're like riding full on full force trying to get those letters delivered as quickly as possible. There's a dinosaur in here called Ingenia, which means genius, Lamau. Well, they interviewed that dinosaur and they were really smart. They're like, wow, man. Is it because it has a big head? Because that'd be very funny. Imagine like you just get called genius because you have a huge head thousands of years after you die. Someone finds you and it's like, damn, big head. Cool. We're gonna call them a genius. You're like, I was very dumb actually, but thank you. I do appreciate it. Okay. Um, let us leave. Let me look at some more of my mailman references. I think like the typical like letter in hand vibe, like they're dying to deliver this letter. Um, yeah, something like that. Thumb goes on the inside, so something like this with a letter on their hand. Something of that sort, I think. Could work. I'm just trying to get this composition to work, honestly. No, it's basically an oviraptor by the scientists who discovered it wanted to be a separate species. Oh, that's funny. Dinosaur was holding the IQ test results in the hand when they died. Exactly, Brie. They just had, they were just grasping the IQ results. Turns out that dinosaur was just a redditor who really, like, their entire personality was around their IQ. So, like, they really wanted everyone to know they had a high IQ. This was really important to them, guys. It's really important to them. Okay. Um, yeah, I think I need to make this dinosaur bigger. Yeah, I do need. Yeah, I need to make them bigger. I feel like otherwise this poor dino's gonna get crushed. Um, yeah. Okay, let's. I'm working within the constraints of my canvas, like constantly pushing against those edges. Goddamn, man. I'd love it if the mailbag was just a sling made of pelt. Oh yeah, no, 100%. I'm gonna be like adding details like that where it's just like a big sack of like mush just with like some patterns of the pelt that it was taken from and stuff. Like anything that like goes like really that vibe of like ancient uh prehistoric vibe is 100% gonna go here. I think this is pretty good. and maybe they're like holding on to like their like just the neck, maybe perhaps I don't know. Let's like move the dinosaur around a little bit. Let's reshape them a bit. I think maybe making them even bigger might be funny. Just using a giant pigeon. They could have like a little bit of storage in the back of the pigeon actually. We could add like little bits of like some little bags here actually strewn around, filled with stuff. It's all gonna like the prehistoric nature is all gonna come down a lot to the details and how we like detail this and stuff. I think I want to add like a little bit of motion to the whole thing and like make it quite dramatic where like they're riding fast kind of thing. I think I need to change the face of the dino a bit to achieve that though. So like having them like have their neck more like down here. Just to give that sense of speed. I think having the face down here communicates that speed better. And also gives us this kind of weird clockety proportion that I kind of sort of love. So yeah, I like that. I will move the arms a bit forward. There's a lot of changing and reiterating and moving things around and stuff. Like change is a big part of character design. You're gonna be changing things constantly. Um, and in this case, I'm even just doing one piece. A lot of the time, we would be working on several pieces and several like versions of the same idea to try and like see what those versions would look like and stuff like that. So like, it's still like a weird microcosm of what actual like character design is. But I don't think I used a microcosm right there, but that's a good word. But I'd love it if the mailbag was just yeah, no. Um, sorry, I read that already. My dumb brain just going back and forth. Okay. I think we can keep the roundness because I kind of love this kind of like pigeon kind of look. It's very chocobo-ish. Maybe we can change it a bit. And that could be like focused. Like, yeah, I'm super fast. Hmm. Yep, and make that bigger. Something like this could work, I think. And then it means that we can give some space for like the hand to actually be holding on to something. So like holding on to some reins or something. Maybe. Hmm. This is so rough, guys. um, I don't like this new face actually. I'm gonna just copy paste the old one. Yeah, you're just gonna use this one. Dinosaur in this book looks so unbalanced. Our dinosaur looks so unbalanced too. To be fair, we're unbalancing them on purpose, but still, yeah, I like this face a lot more. We might want to add some intensity to a bit more intensity to the eye. Maybe like a little cute eyebrow over there. Like, yeah, we're delivering these letters. Maybe we even make it so like it has less feathers in the head. And then we give it like a little hat. I don't know. I don't like the feathers. The feathers are cute. Gives it a kind of triceratops look as well, which I like. Well, we could even add a horn actually, instead of like the thing here. I know it makes no sense for it to have a horn, but like a little horn would look kind of cute. Yeah, it makes no sense for the horn actually. Never mind. It's starting to look too draconic. I'm not doing a dragon. We're not doing a dragon today, guys. No, no, sir. Um, Something like this could be kind of cool. Let's do a little bit of editing when it comes to the tail. I think pushing it back a little bit, making it bigger, pushing it back a little bit like that. Just working mostly on the big shapes, getting those ready before we like focus on details. I often do that wrong and focus on the details a lot because details are more fun than the big shapes a lot of the times. But it's good to like pull back and focus on these kind of things first and then go to the details. I don't really think we need the spikes too much, do we? Maybe. I don't know. Let's take this away for now. The carrying back thing. Just so we can see the proportions with the tail a little better. Okay, so the leg is pretty big going on here. That's the other one that's coming in here. We can do something a bit more like this, where it comes up and then it goes like this. Maybe, or like it comes up and then down. Yeah, more raptorial kind of vibes. And that like little thing they have where their genitals would go. We're not drawing the genitals. This is a wholesome design. No dinosaur's genitals should be seen. Yeah, horn for extra aerodynamics, exactly. Just adding shit for the sake of adding shit. Maybe I could give it like one of these like head crest things that the more duck-billed dinosaurs have, actually. We could do a bit more duck-billed vibes. I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure on the dinosaur. But I kind of like the overall pose that we have, though. I think that's pretty good. Like, the overall pose of, like, the mailman running, like, you know, giving it that little bit of action. I know I'm working on the pose kind of at the same time as the design, but like I said, a lot of this design is going to be coming down to the details, and because I've decided to add, like, the dinosaur aspect, a lot of it is going to be kind of like added like smaller when it comes to the actual person. So yeah, reptile genitals usually aren't visible. They're hidden behind flaps. Yeah, they're like a little flappy flap, but I don't want to draw the flaps either. Too graphic, too graphic. Let's try a different head on for just for size. Nope, what did I do here? I want to do this. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna just move that to a different layer and draw a different head. Maybe a bit more raptorian, a bit less avian, or even trying to do a little bit more. Actually, I could try a head that's more like those little like. Do you guys know those like duck-billed ones with like the cool nostrils that make like a weird honking sound? Those kind of vibes, like the duck-billed ones. Something like this, maybe. Something more like that. I think something like that could work. And like we could also have them like honking because they're so happy that they're going fast. They're just a cute little guy. Adding feathers to this also feels really cool and weird. Because I do not think these have feathers like in the slightest. I very much think they do not. That's a weird amalgamation of dinos. Maybe if we do this, we might want to change the arms to less feathery to be more, because these are almost quadrupeds, are they not? I feel like they're almost quadrupeds, so like having more like the fingers out kind of vibes, making them a bit heftier. I don't think their little tail would be this short, this long, sorry. Oh, we could do a little banner on the tail, actually, hanging from the tail. I think this could be kind of cute. What do you guys think about this one instead? Something more like this. It looks like a parasaur. Yeah, like a parasaur. Yeah. I thought my lizard was male, but she just laid an egg the other day. Dark blue ones are myosaurs, I think. Yeah, Mysosaura. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Mysosaura are cute, and they look a little bit like. I mean, they're not really duck bills, but they kind of have like a little bit of a bill. So like that could be fun. So like I feel like we're getting further away from the pigeon though. This like I like it, but I feel like we're getting further and further away from the pigeon. So mm, yeah, I need to revisit this dinosaur. I'm not 100% with it. Um, let us let us experiment. I like the idea of the expression of the open month though. So maybe we just like add to that idea. I forgot the pigeon, pigeon, pigeon. Yeah, that's the thing. I also forgot that we're trying to do like a very pigeon-like dinosaur. I want to actually look at some pigeons and try to full on do like a pigeon face. Pigeon. Um, because I feel like a little pigeon vibe, like the little dumbass look they have sometimes would be very cute. So like maybe going even more pigeon and even less dinosaur, and just have like the body be very dinosaur, but the actual face be very pigeon. I think that could work really well. Like we do something like this, then we like increase the fluff tenfold once we get here. So like we get this kind of vibe. And then once we get here, we like increase fluff like a hell of a lot. Fluff, absolute fluff. All of the fluff. And then we give it like a very pigeon vibe. That could be funny, I think. Right. Yeah. Hey, black blue teal, welcome. You are pigeon, pigeon. I found an image of a featherless pigeon. Oh, I don't know if I want to see that. That sounds upsetting. That sounds very upsetting. Um, okay, so maybe like I think actually, yeah, like the idea of like a more fluff heavy kind of design. You play with like the rings and like maybe yeah, because like they do have a pretty round kind of like shape, and we just like make like their little pigeon beak be more like that. Maybe we have them even like screaming, like full on like that. Yeah, that's kind of cute. And then like big eye. It's a bit silly, but it's kind of cute. I kind of like the vibes now. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going pigeon Rex. We might need to add something to the head though. I feel like it's a bit empty otherwise. Just horn. Yeah, I think this is actually looking kind of good. Maybe we make although that's making it look a bit too chickeny. They do have like this big fluff on top sometimes, the pigeons. Like around the eyes, they have like this big fluff kind of thing. That's making it look too chicken. I think we're gonna stick with something more like that. A pigeon teaching. What up is that? This is sketchbook. Oh my god, burp. It is very burp like, yeah. I think we're gonna do this. And then we might actually make the yeah, and now we're like going full on like with the wing kind of feel, I think. Maybe we do make the legs a bit longer, I think, proportion wise. Let's make you a bit smaller, put you up there. I think this is very pigeon. It might be too much pigeon though. We'll see. But I think something like this could be fun. Because it's looking a bit more pigeony. And I really wanted it to look pigeony, so maybe we give it a little hat. I don't know, I feel like there's empty here. I feel like there should be like a little something here. Like a little like crest of some sort or something. I don't know. Definitely not that, but you know. Hmm. But if I add too much, it looks less like a pigeon and starts looking like um like a chicken for some reason. So let's give it a little angry eyebrow, I think. Determined. Like, yeah, we're gonna deliver this mail whether you want it or not. This is our mission. Let's give him more fluff in the front of the head. I think we're missing a little bit of fluffiness here. This is what this entire stream is, isn't it? It's just me drawing a pigeon and deciding how much pigeon and how little pigeon. I think so. I think this is gonna be the stream actually. Should give it teeth, maybe. I don't know. That makes it feel a bit too evil. Yeah, that's our cute little pigeon sore. Let's make the legs bigger for sure. Just longer. I think it needs way longer. Yeah, bigger legs like that. Pigeonosaur. Is this what you guys thought this was gonna be? When like when you heard what topic had won, did you guys generally think this is what we're gonna be throwing today? Making giving it maybe slight fluff on the head for texture. I don't know. Yeah, like a little bit of I just when I fluff it back, I don't know, it kind of looks weird to me. I don't know. The we could do the thing here that we did with the thing before, but it looks too chicken if I do that for me. Maybe once we add color though, that's something I can change. Okay, now let's do the big claws over here. Bigfoot coming in with the big claws like that, because it's just this kind of shape. Cool. And then we do have to give him something at the front, so maybe we do like actually the Torosaurus thing. Oh, maybe we could do Torosaurus style. Is that a Torosaurus or am I getting those confused? I think I'm getting those confused. I think a Torosaurus is more like a trike. Do you guys know the one that has like the little arms that are like mostly vestigial? I forgot what it's called, but I think we're going with that because it's cute. And it's stupid. Okay, anyways, we're gonna have some more of that robe, I think, and like to like emphasize the kind of like movement thing, we're gonna do like a little banner there with like the male symbol, I think. And I'm generally thinking of doing, yeah, there's something, the head needs something. Let's look at more dinosaurs. Maybe teeth. Ooh, no texture for the tail. Maybe teeth, hands. I think it's the beak that makes it chicken. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is the beak that makes it chicken. Um, let's merge all these. Um, let's make it more dino. Um, there's these ones that have like the like co-crest thing, and then like their actual like mouths are like these kind of like more like that. I think that's more dino. You can still separate it and make it a bit beak. I do like the idea of it screaming now. Yeah, I think that's better. I think that's better. Still pigeon-like, but not fully pigeon. Yeah, I think this is generally better. Something more like this. They almost look so stupid down here. They need to be a bit like more here actually. There you go. I think that kind of works. I'll be going now. Okay, Pop, thank you so much. Tune in later to see what atrocity this turned into. Thank you so much, Pop. Have a nice one. Yeah, I think you're right, Mahi. And the hands definitely like make it more dinosaurish, like having like a little bit of like this hands coming out of the fluff. I think it's very cute, and maybe like a little bit to the tail. Uh, like black blue teal says, like a little bit of like more featheries to the tail. I kind of like bring it in back to the feather dinosaur, just a little bit of fluff. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with the dino now. I think so. I might change my mind, but I think so. I think so. Oh god, this is the problem with not having an art director. Sometimes you are your worst art director. Okay, so I think this is more or less our creature, what we're doing with this. Need to clean it up a little bit, but let's move on to our human being. Uh, let's give them like a very. I like this beak more. The helmet looks a bit large. Might be a bit large, yeah. Blip. Uh, Maybe we'll have like a smaller kind of crest. Like more like this. This makes it look cute. Blip, blip, blip. We could do like little things on it. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah. Name Postman. Naked. Yeah, just full on naked Postman. That's what we're doing here. We're challenging Twitch's rules on nudity. It's 100% what I want to do right now. Uh, a little bit of that. Actually, I haven't mirrored the canvas, but that does help. Or like things like proportions and stuff. I'm still not 100% on the face, but I think it is better. It's kind of hard to make it look like a pigeon and not like a pigeon. It's a bit like an asshole right now. That's kinder, that's nicer. Yeah. Maybe more directional eyes. Yeah, that's cuter. Mm, maybe maybe instead of like full on teeth, just like a little bit of a keep and peak chip. Nah, actually worse. The teeth would be better. Make them round enough, they're kind of cute. Yeah. Something more like that, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like the Rio bird. Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of hard to make like anatomical birds that also kind of look like characters. And again, I'm not very good at this like a creature design thing. I focus mostly on characters rather than creatures. So whenever I kind of do creatures, they're not the best per se. I think like to be a good creature designer is kind of like the same kind of thing that you would need to be a good character designer, where you actually have to like spend a little of time actually looking at and studying different creatures and their anatomy and things like that. I haven't really done that, hence why my creature designs don't really look that good. So, yeah, take all of my creature stuff today with like a big fat grain of salt. Not a good creature designer. I am. So, yes. Something like that. I don't know, man. I'm still not loving this. Hmm. Still not in love with it, but it's something, and we're gonna stick with something. Okay. Anyways, let's focus now on our actual like character. So let's get you really really faint and actually focus on our character. Okay. I like the big more helmet, looks a bit large, named Postman. I guess it kind of looks like real bird. He's mogging now. Nice. Yeah, he's full on mogging now. It's not great. We'll hopefully fix it. Hopefully. Oh, I wanted to bear the mirror canvas. Okay. 1 second to blow my nose. And we are back. Let's get to the character. The fun part that I'm actually slightly better at. So we want to make her. I'll go play some chess now. No worries. Have a nice one. Um, okay. So we're gonna definitely like give her like a little bit of the mailman hat look for sure. I think a little vest also gives the idea of like a male person without like full on going too traditional with the clothing. Like I need to find this like weird mixture between something that looks kind of like loose and cartoonishly prehistoric and actual like postman outfit vibes. So I think we're certainly gonna go with pants, even if it's like very prehistoric looking pants, because I think that's gonna be a big part of the postman vibe to have like kind of like a more official outfit kind of thing. We're gonna go maybe a little like ruggedy with them. Let's just focus on a little bit of the body first. So we're gonna have her like this. So she's gonna be in this kind of like pose. Her other leg is gonna be over here. Butt, thigh, blah blah blah. Kind of like this. I think hefty feet because for some reason when I think of cave people, I think of big feet. So they have big calves and big feet. Um, I don't know. That's just something I think of when I think of cave people. Uh, overall like pretty big limbs, pretty big strong limbs kind of vibes. So yeah, I think something like this can make them a little like bottom heavy, and then have like the arms also be quite hefty. I think it gives very cave proportions to me for some reason. I don't actually know where these like biases come from, but it's a choice, and we're sticking with it because choices are good for character design. So, yeah, they got they're gonna have big ass hands with barely any wrists. It's also a very kind of like early 2000s aesthetic to have like the hand almost go directly to the wrist, I think. Shake my hand, Gonzalo. That's cavist. Yes, exactly. I'm being incredibly cavist. That's going, bro. I love that Breeze like stays silent for most of the like stream, but then every once in a while they just like drop just an absolute banger and then just dip again. They just roam and wait for their moment to strike. It's always quite good. Okay. big cute face too. I think we're doing cute this month. I don't know why. I'm in the mood for cute. I'm in a cute vibe, so we're going pretty cute with it. Pretty low ears, maybe something of that sort. These are decisions that have very little to do with the actual like postman or caveman thing. Well, I don't know, something like that. Cool. My quips are less funny with the delay. I mean, yeah, but there's, I don't know. I feel like I could change, like, I feel like the delay doesn't need to be as harsh as it is. I have a feeling like I have something wrong in the settings with the delay because it is quite hefty. And I've seen other people stream and I don't think their delay is this bad. So I think there has to be something in the settings that I've got wrong. So that's something I need to look into for sure. Um, okay, so something like that when it comes to like the actual body. Again, because cave people, I think we're gonna and like this fluffy, very dino looking thing. I think we're gonna stick to like fairly light clothing, but I still want to have enough of a callback to the actual like postman uniform type vibes. So definitely a very vest like thing I think is gonna work out for us. So something that like despite being very like rugged and stuff kind of reads like a vest, I think could be a good shout. So maybe like a double wrap kind of thing. Like one of the wraps does this and the other one does that. So like it kind of gives that idea of a vest without actually like being one. Uh Something like this, I think, pretty cool. We could add a little bit of fluff to it. Something like this. Yeah, I think this is pretty giving like that shape of the vest. We could even have like a couple of the like those bone button things. I think this is pretty vest-like. Yeah, without like fully being too rigid and stuff. I do want to have pants, but I also like flaky stuff, like different layers of like skin wraps and things with different textures, like almost floating around with like some actual like pants on. So something like that. Hmm. Something of this sort, I think, is pretty good for that. Like again, it's we need to lean heavily on this idea of like caveman, but still keeping some of the kind of hints of post anything. So yeah, maybe a lapel. That should not be too much. Fighting Chinese internet. Oh yeah, shaking my head. The prehistoric job market is more trans friendly than our current one. Look at this employed male woman. Exactly. I wrote postman, but this is a post woman, I think. I don't know, honestly. It is definitely trans friendly though. Generally, prehistoric times were very gender fluid in general, so it was a better time, I think, in a lot of ways, and a way worse time in many other ways. I would have died so hard though. First cold, dead. No aircon though, so that's good. Would have taken me a lot longer to get my first cold. Just like going too deep into a cave on a hot sunny day, dies of natural air conditioning. Okay, something like this I think is pretty cool. We could add some like wraps to like close to the foot just to add a little bit of movement, like a couple of things like this, just to like emphasize that kind of movement and add a little bit of like busyness to these areas that would otherwise just be like skin. So some like bangles or like wraps of things, and then maybe even like this is stupid. I feel like this is a bit stupid. Yeah, that's a bit stupid. Never mind. I'm not gonna do a an actual like ruffle thingy. Okay, so the actual what the actual mail is gonna be is a pretty good question because I have no idea if we're just gonna do like full on envelopes. I feel like that's a bit too on the nose, but I don't know what the actual mail would be, the equivalent of mail would be. I haven't really thought about that like at all. Even though I came up with a prompt and all that, but yeah. She's definitely gonna be wearing like a little cap for sure though. Um, we're just gonna make it a lot more like you know poorly made or like made of like very natural materials to kind of like contrast that. Maybe some like very natural like hemp wire like fibers around that. Um, maybe even some like little gaps, kind of like add that kind of vibe, and then probably some like leather there with some like dots or something. I think that's pretty good costuming wise. Costuming is very important for this one because like I feel like otherwise the idea of mailed carrier does not sell like at all. So like that's pretty important I think. And then we could put like a couple of like I don't know teeth or like bones or things popping out here. That's a very good one for like making things look prehistoric. Just add a bunch of bones and teeth and stuff. So yeah, I think this is more or less the kind of like costuming we're gonna go for this person over here. Of undefined gender. I think it's gonna be a lady because I like drawing ladies more, so they're more fun. Um, yeah, I think something like this works pretty well. When it comes to the actual like hairstyle, we're gonna make it I think a bit wild and unkempt. Maybe we do add like a bunch of braids actually. Maybe we add a bunch of braids, yeah. Braids are fun. Let's make them flowy, but like make them a bit jaggedy to kind of keep that. So like a bunch of braids going on, I think could be quite fun. Mixed with like a very big hair. How big are we doing this hair? Should we do like hmm I don't know. Should we do something like I like the idea of like half braided, half knots. I want big shape as well. Maybe we just do like very unkempt hair though. I mean, it is the prehistoric times. Like dealing with dinosaurs is more important than keeping your hair like kept kind of like nice and stuff. Yeah, maybe like big unkempt hair energy, like little curls coming out all over the place. I think this is actually pretty cute. Uh, Something like that. But maybe we do give her like a bit of like I did a French last thing, so even though I kind of like when I want to do make something look cute, I do give it a French. But no, let's not do a French. Let's do something else. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? I don't want anything too combative looking. Maybe like a little bit of just the hair on the face as she's running through. Yeah, I think so. Maybe, perhaps, perhaps. Also, because Bree said it, this character is officially trans now. So, she's a trans woman now. It's official. Happy Pride, everyone. Okie dokie, something like that. Du-du-du. Something of that sort, I think could be nice, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I like her with like very fluffy kind of hair. I think we're gonna stick to the fluffy kind of hair. Let me give her some, actually, like a little bit of pulled back here. I think that's cooler. There we go. And I haven't done the face at all. Sometimes you don't even need a face to create a character. It's great. I think it's a pretty good example of that. Like, we haven't even gotten to a face, but it's still, she very much reads as a very chaotic character. I haven't really thought about like the actual vibes of characters for this series when I'm making them most of the time for this like month. Just like focused on like two aspects of them, but I'm kind of finding the character as we go, which is kind of fun, you know? Like you kind of find the personality as you go. A lot of times you have to work with like a specific personality or character archetype and stuff when you're doing stuff, but like I feel like we're finding the kind of personality as we go with it with these ones, and I'm loving it. I'm kind of loving the exploration. So, yeah. Let's let's give her a face actually. So, yep. Um, let's do. Might change some of the stuff as we give her a face, but I'm gonna give her a pretty cute, chubby face. A little more rounded to make it more adorable. We're just doing a bunch of adorable characters this month. I'm really happy about that. We've done some cursed things in the past. We've done some overly sexualized things in the past, so I'm happy to go for a bit more cute. So I'm gonna actually like, yeah, start quite simple and then add the complexity to kind of like get more of a cute design going. Yeah, that's adorable. Um, just gonna have a very thick eyebrow because I like thick eyebrows. They're fun, prominent, and also kind of fits the idea of like a more prehistoric person. To be fair, I think more of a thin to white kind of nose. Yeah, something more like that. I think. Cool. I think she very much reads like a male person. It's just the question of what are we gonna make the envelope is kind of still eluding me. Maybe we just make it very obviously out of like some plant material, you know, like just very obviously not paper, and work with that. Maybe it's a leaf actually. Yeah, leaf. That works. That works. I can make a leaf work. I can make a rolled up leaf work. Yeah, definitely. Oops. Wait, is that way too far? Okay, yeah. I can make a rolled up leaf work. We did it, guys. We made a rolled up leaf work. Yay. Okay, amazing. Also, I think, yeah, something like this. And then it just like exaggerates this kind of like aspect of the leaf. I think, yeah. And then let's just draw the hands in with a little bit more detail, and we've got it. 5 fingers, not 4. Yes. Big hands. There you go. Sort of a. I mean, once it's green, I think it'll be more. It'll be more noticeable. I think it'll be more noticeable that it's a leaf once it's actually like green colored. But yeah, let's give it a little bit of a one of those cool leaf gap things to exaggerate that. At the end of the day, drawing is all about finding a combination of like lines and colors and shapes that like says exactly what you want them to say. Um, without getting too involved. In my case, without getting too realistic or too involved into it, which is the hard part, I think, stylization. But I love stylization, and I generally do not enjoy drawing things realistically. I get it. It's definitely a skill. It's one that I'm not too good at, and it's one that a lot of people very much enjoy. But I find realism dull and boring. Um, if you're not doing something like expressionism, to be honest, I'm not very interested. I understand the need to learn and understand the real world when you're drawing because it's what gets you to then do whatever the heck you want with it. So, like, if you're a student and you're learning, like, that is a really big part of it. But this weird, kind of like, I mean, I see it a lot with non-artists that like they really like, oh wow, that's so realistic, that's so cool, like that's the best thing ever because it's the most realistic thing ever. To me, that's boring as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, yeah, it takes a lot of talent to make something look very realistic, and I don't want to take away from that, like the time investment and stuff. Like, obviously, you have to put a lot of effort into it. It's just very much not my cup of tea. I don't find the enjoyment in it. I think if you want to see reality, photograph is a bit more interesting of an art form in my opinion, because at least with photography, you are working with, hey, how do I specifically like frame this, or how do I, choose to shoot this? How do I let the light through or not through to kind of like make something interesting? Whereas with drawing something realistically, it's just like, oh, look at what I'm seeing. I just draw what I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite art movement. I feel like I might be a bit divisive here, but not a big fan of hyperrealism. It's just it seems a bit dull. I think photography does it better and more interestingly. Um, I don't think art is valuable just for having put a lot of work into it. I think it's I mean it's definitely better than fucking AI generated bullshit, but I don't know. It just kind of dull and boring to me. I don't love hyperrealism. That's my like nobody asked, but I don't know. I just went on a rant about why I don't. I just created conflict out of nowhere for no fucking reason. That's me. Welcome to the channel, guys. But yeah, I was watching this video before we started streaming about specifically talking about like what makes someone an artist and stuff like that. It's specifically like a book talk thing, but then like they were referencing this video where like someone did like a whole like video essay about like certain accounts on YouTube that they think are more pyramid schemes than actual artists and stuff. You know, the typical like people are like, "Oh, I will teach you how to like make money from your art" kind of vibes. Which honestly, anything that claims that they will teach you how to make money from anything is already kind of sketch. But like also as artists nowadays, you kind of like knowing how to use social media to, you know, advertise yourself is a very big thing. Anyways, the video had nothing to do with that. It just talked about it because through that video essay about like potential pyramid schemes or whatever, like I haven't seen it, so I don't know how like whether I actually agree that those things are pyramid schemes or not. No idea. It through that like introduced the idea of how like um to be an artist, you have to do certain amounts of work and like make this amount of like artwork or this amount of that, or like whether your work needs to be published or have sold for it to be valid as like artwork and stuff. And it was a really interesting question, to be honest, because through the lens of, oh, I didn't even notice. Hey, Wingsmith, welcome. Galactic E just submitted my piece for the color challenge. Oh, it was actually way harder than I thought to incorporate lots of colors. It is so hard, isn't it, Galactic? No, incorporating a lot of different hues and making them like saturated, like it's really hard to balance that and not make it look like absolute garbage. I know, because I've tried and it looked like absolute garbage. So honestly, I'm so excited to see those. It is quite a hard challenge. Like the inspiration is clear. It's like, it's Pride Month, so a month of the rainbow. But like God, it's not an easy thing to do. So I generally look forward to seeing what everyone does. Ah, I can't wait to see it Galactic. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be showcasing absolutely everyone who submits. I'm gonna be showcasing all of your drawings on stream on the last stream of the month. That's why the deadline's there. It's cause like to try and get it done before that stream so I can show everyone. But yeah, no, that's gonna be really fun. I kind of like I'm kind of excited for it. I really want to see what you guys do. Um, anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, capitalism sucks, and it really makes art become this thing that's commodified. Yeah, you can be an artist if you don't like do it for a living. You can be an artist if you just like doing art. It doesn't need to be a lot. It doesn't need to be the primary thing that you do. If you want to call yourself a painter because you spend every 3 weekends you do a little painting, that in my opinion is completely valid because art is about expressing something that we all have inside us, our lived experiences, our humanity. It all merges and transforms into whatever we do. And yeah, just because art needs to be commercialized in order to make a living from it doesn't mean that if you don't make a living from it, you're not an artist. So yeah. I haven't seen that video though. I kind of want to see the like pyramid scheme stuff. I just vehemently disagree with his assertion of what makes an artist an artist. Like you need to certain amounts of things per week, per whatever. Life sucks right now, and it sucks a lot for people who want to do art for a living. I mean, only reason I do at least one piece a week is because I'm streaming with you guys. Sometimes I can't get more than that done. A lot of the art that I do is commissions, which like, don't really take into account what I want to draw or whatever the heck. It's just, client work at the end of the day. And even when I was working as a professional artist, which at this point it's been a year and a bit since I even worked in the industry. But yeah, like even when I was working in the industry, I was just doing what someone else asked me to do. So, that's it's still art, but is it self-expressive? Is it like the purest form of thing? I don't know. I feel like trying to define whether someone can call themselves an artist or not is it's pretty kind of fascistic, It's like, I'm sorry, mate, but it's between the person and who does the art and their art to like see whether there's art in there or not. um but also if you do AI you're not an artist. If anything, which very questionably, the artist is the AI who's actually making the thing. But yeah, not really, because it's just stolen from a bunch of people. But if anyone in that scenario is an artist, it's definitely not the person giving the AI prompt. This is a very anti-AI stream. If you guys are new and you're pro AI, I do not like AI. AI caca. And by AI, I mean what's commercialized AI, not actually artificial intelligence or even computer learning. I'm not against computer learning. I have a lot of scientists in my family, and computer learning is pretty fucking useful. Yeah, like Gen AI sucks though. It's making the world a better place by taking everyone's jobs and making us all starve even more and causing suffering and polluting the water and doing horrible, horrible things like allowing pedophiles to take the clothes off of kids. Yay, thank you, Elon Musk, for Grok. So, anyways, not a big fan of AI. Rant. Brie has sent you. Welcome, Opal. Welcome, Opal VTuber. You're a VTuber, huh? Awesome. I I guess I'm kind of a PNG tuber, I guess. I don't actually have like a proper anything. It's just two images that bounce a little when I talk. I do have a couple of VTuber friends though, so welcome to the circle. Actually, Opal, if you do streams and stuff, feel free to post a link to it. You have the allowance, if you have like your own stream and stuff. We're a pretty small chat, so yeah. Love you being YouTuber though. Your style is so clean. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I try. That's all I can really say. I try. I don't know. Oh man. Okay, so we wanted to add like a little bit of a mailbag to her, and I completely forgot to do that. And her hair is very big and in the way, so I think I'm gonna have to like push that mailbag out a lot. Let me just finish like drawing her like actual body parts though. Uh, very chunky proportions. To be fair, the chunky proportions do make her look younger, which makes the whole thing a lot cuter. So I will take it. Chunky feet. Bloop. I hate drawing feet. Should we keep this line? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. God, I really hate drawing feet, especially stylized feet. Like I already hate drawing feet in general, but stylized feet are annoying because I don't, I don't draw feet enough to have like good stylization for them. So like I always do them just very anatomical. So yeah, I don't know. I think that kind of works stylization wise. Maybe, perhaps, maybe. Okay. I do stream, mostly variety streams. Currently just relaxing while playing Subnautica 2. Oh, with my sister. Otherwise, I've been a little on the lay low on streaming, but plan on going back to creative streams, like working on Blender and such. Oh my god, you do Blender. Oh, I've worked with Blender one time for one job, and it was horrible. I hate Blender. It's such a good program. I hate using it so much. Like it's a wonderful program. I can't. I'm so bad with like learning new software, and Blender is like the freaking god of all learning new software. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Mhm. Yeah, something like that. I think that kind of works. Okay, so we gotta add a little bit of a satchel. Um, what I'm gonna do is just again lots of layers because I kind of want to make sure that like things work on top of other things. It's pretty important to me that the lines don't like cross too much and stuff that like that. So I think a big satchel like this, but I want to make sure it's separated away from her body enough that we can actually get like the motion from it. Ooh, nice, new follow. She's a friend worth keeping around. Sold my soul to enjoy it. I love the Subnautica games. I've watched so many Let's Plays and so many videos of the Subnautica games. I would be utterly incapable of playing them because I have really bad, like, thalassophobia, I think it's called. Yeah, me scared of big body water. Um, it's not like the ocean. I've grown up around the ocean. I hop in the water in the middle of the night, no problems. It's just that moment where like you can't see the bottom or the sides or anything around you, and it's just a blue dustiness where like things can show up at any point. That's fucking terrifying to me. Yeah. Yeah, no. I need at least one surface to push myself against. And when there is none, it generally does terrify me. So yeah, great freaking games. Love them. Love watching people talk about them. I recently saw this video where like I think it was a marine biologist specifically reacted to like the different species of Subnautica 1 and its ecosystem and stuff, and it was really cool. It was a really cool video. Highly recommend it. Um, I wish I remember what the name of the YouTuber was. But yeah, no, it's gorgeous, and I love the designs and the gameplay and like everything's great. I just terrified, so scary. Oh yeah, I have that too, but it's so worth playing it because the games are both horrifying and just magical. Yeah, no, like I feel like I'd be okay in the shallows, but as soon as I leave the shallows, I'd be fucked. I got marine biologist. I watched their stuff too. Right? Yeah, it's so good, right, Ovo? That was such a good video. I love it. Actually, if you guys are into marine biology and want to learn like marine biology in like a really fun way, there's this channel I got recommended once, which I absolutely binge her stuff. It's so freaking good. It's called the Octopus Lady, I think. And she's a marine biologist who talks about marine biology, and she really loves like marine biology. It's great. It's like she just like talks about different specific species on like each video, and like says different interesting things about them and stuff. It just, I don't know, it's so nice. I love learning about this weird ass alien world. Oh, Alien Ocean, I think, is the name of the channel. She calls herself the Octopus Lady, but I think the channel's called Alien Ocean. Oh yeah, Alien Ocean. Yeah, I wasn't reading the. Yes, 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 100%. Hyperfixation doesn't hurt. It should be Alidove that you're talking about. It should be Alidove. Alidove is the one that did the reacting to Subnautica creatures as a marine biologist, right? Okay, Alidove. Check her out. Great stuff. It's great. Or check him out. I'm not sure if it was a he or a she now. The octopus lady is definitely a she though. His octopus lady, but she's an octopus. Alien Ocean, yes. She's so good. She generally is so fantastic, and it's great as well because I think her octopus is like her octopus character is like very clearly, at least to me, drawn by like an animator or storyboard artist. Like it has that like feel of like someone who's gone to like animation school, and apparently like it's because a friend of them is a friend of hers is like an animator or artist and stuff, and I just love the vibes. It's generally great. Watch her stuff while painting. Yeah, same. I watch her stuff a lot. It's so good. Whenever like I'm working on commission and stuff, I love having like videos like that in the background where I'm like learning actual stuff. It's very nice. Not that I am immune to the occasional drama video, um, because those are interesting too, and then I get to talk to my partner about it afterwards. But speaking of, I still have to watch the videos on the Lego thing. Oh my god, the bricks and minifigs thing. I don't know if you guys know about it, but it is absolutely freaking insane, and I am never doing any business with bricks and minifigs ever again. Absolute insanity. The US just seems like a dystopian nightmare at this point to anyone outside of it, I feel like. Insane. If you haven't looked into it, look into the bricks and minifigs fiasco. It's a lot. Like a lot. I'm not even gonna recap it because I still haven't watched the videos. I've just had Kyle, who might be on stream right now, talk to me about it, and I read the the descriptions of a bunch of the videos and stuff, and then I just forgot to actually watch them. But yeah, no, in absolute insanity, man. Just from what he told me, and then like I keep getting shorts talking about it and stuff, and like the more I learn about it, the freaking crazier it gets. It's no, it's utter insanity. So yeah, just look up the bricks and minifigs fiasco if you guys wanna. I don't think it's called that fiasco, but if you guys want to know about that stuff, it's definitely something. Hmm. So I'm trying to make the bag here look as rugged and unpolished as possible. Might even add a little bit of this kind of like big sewing moment. I use words that make sense. Big sewing moment. Of course, everybody understands what I meant by that. Uh, like, yeah, big patch. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, and maybe like a teeth, like a tooth, a couple of teeth hanging out. I don't know. Why would it have teeth over here? I don't know. I don't know. I have no freaking clue. It just does. I do want to do the thing. Whenever a character's moving really fast and you have them drop half of the stuff, like half of their letters, I do want to do that, even though it's silly and stupid. And whenever I saw it as a kid, I was like, "Oh no, the letters." Um, yeah, I think it's fun and it shows movement, so we're definitely doing this. So there's gonna be like a couple of like leaf things popping out from here. Let's make some of them look even more like leaves. Like maybe some people just don't fold them and they just like write things on a leaf, like just and stick them in the mailbox like that. This is all very important world building that makes a lot of sense and is very cohesive, guys. So pay attention. This is super important. Just gonna be a test afterwards. So okay, something like that, I think. Yes. Yes. And some more over here in the background. We can color later. Okay, cool. So something of this sort for like this stuff, and then I'm just gonna have like a couple of leaves be like floating away. She does give the vibes of someone who would like lose half of her mail on her way to deliver the other half, so I don't think the dinosaur looks like it's going fast enough. We might have to redesign the dinosaur for like the fifth time today. So get ready for that, folks. Oh gosh. I'm really failing with the dinosaur today. I don't know why I did this to myself. I'm like I said, I'm not very good at actual like creature design. I do not do it's not a thing I do enough, and I haven't spent enough time actually studying like different creatures and their anatomy and stuff. Um so like I do not know why I did this to myself, but I have, so um yeah. We're gonna have to I think redesign the dinosaur, or at least repose the dinosaur a little bit, because I don't think it looks like it's going fast enough. Um let's do a third one over here, because rule of thirds. Doo-doo. Okay, something like that, maybe. Maybe more like here, actually. There we go. Okay, and this one more like here. I'm being way too perfectionist about this. Okay, amazing. I think this works really well as like a sort of satchel thing. It's very rough, like it's very rough, not very precisely made and stuff. It's like a almost like just a piece of cloth, like of like leather, just haphazardly tied around. So I think that kind of like is working pretty well with the vibe that we're going for her, and yeah, and like this comes in behind her hair over here. So yeah, I think that looks fairly good. We're just gonna have to get rid of this nice cute swirly and maybe do another one up top here. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so that's her. Dinosaur time, guys. Oh god. Okay, let's redesign this dinosaur for the umpteenth time. Gosh darn it. Why did I decide to do creature design today? Oh god, okay. That's fine. It's okay. We're okay. I'm gonna try and just fix him first. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can just kind of fix him a little bit. Yeah, I really hate that face. We might just go more traditional dinosaur here. And also, yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know. This is rough. This is rough. the amount of different dinosaur faces we've gone through today. Okay. So the kind of tail part was okay, I think. I don't mind him having his tail up a little bit, but I think he looks faster with the tail down. Okay, and then maybe more of like this kind of vibe. I think that definitely looks faster. I'm gonna make it like a T-Rex, honestly. God damn. This is so bad. We've done 20 of these. Okay. How are we on time, by the way? I hadn't checked. So it's 4:48. Okay. Not that bad. We're only like 2 hours in, and we at least have the design of the actual character. We're just struggling with the dinosaur. Gosh. Okay. That is fine. Something like this I think could look okay. I need more pictures of dinosaurs running. And not pictures like drawings, because there's no pictures of dinosaurs running. You know the typical pictures of dinosaurs running when you go to the zoo and you just take pictures of those dinosaurs, you know, how they run. Yeah, yeah. Everybody's seen dinosaurs running. Uh I think something like that. I do like the little Torosaurus vibes. It's not a Torosaurus. I keep fucking that up. I'm gonna look this up. Arms, and that's gonna come up, isn't it? Yes, the what's it called? What's this guy called? Go scroll. I don't care about your article. I just want to know what it's called. Carnotaurus. I call it a Torosaurus because it does look like a bull, and bull is Toro. So that's my dumbass thinking. But yeah, Carnotaurus. That's the one with the tiny arms. I do like the Carnotaurus arms. I think we're gonna keep those because they're really cute and funny. We just full on might make it a Carnotaurus actually. I think I might like give up on the pigeon thing. Maybe we just like give him a lot of fluff right around the head. Like a partially feathered dinosaur. Just this. There we go, guys. We did it. Oh, I'm losing it. The dinosaur is making me lose it. Okay, we have references, Gonzalo. We've gathered references. We can look at our references. We can find something. Okay, let's go avian, but more square with this. A bit more T-Rexy, a bit more dragony. Something more like this, maybe. Having some teeth. Something like this, maybe, perhaps. And then giving him like a little bit of this. So then it does give a little bit of a pigeon vibe, but not too much. Still looks more dinosaur. There you go. I think that's better. I think. I think that's better. Okay. Maybe perhaps. Let's give him the biggest, like, tiny jaw. And biggest fluff that we could possibly achieve here. Like, just the biggest fluff neck. Just all of the fluff. just a big fluff moment over here. He's a diva now. I like a big fluff color. This little arm over here coming out of the fluff. I kind of love that. Yeah, I kind of love that. Okay, I think we might finally have it. Maybe, perhaps, maybe, maybe actually we make this like be in the background, so we can actually have the upturned leg show up better over here. So like, do I have actual drawings of dinosaurs running? I feel like I should. I should, but I don't think I do. How unprepared am I when it comes to references today? This is insane. I swear I usually prepare better than this. Okay, well, no actual, like, that's fine. That's okay. I'll improvise. That always works great. For someone with very little experience doing creature design, I'm sure this will go great. Okay, something like this, because I don't want to have to look at more stuff today. I think we've done enough of that. Yeah, I think that's better, because then we can, like, showcase this leg a bit more prominently. Given, like, the actual, like, angle of it, the fact that it's, like, running forward with it. I think that, like, gives that space, so, like, we can have big body fluff, but not hide the other leg into, like, obscurity, and still have, like, this one show up here at the back. A little bit of this thing some birds have. I think, yeah, I think this is pretty cool, like this. And then just big claw. Something like this, I think, works pretty well. We don't even have, like, room for an arm, really. I might actually not just not have arms. We just don't see them. They're, like, irrelevant. I think this is way freaking cuter. It might look less like a pigeon, though, but I think it is way freaking cuter. I don't know what you guys think. But, like, final, hopefully, redesign of our little dino thing here. And then, yeah. I think this looks cuter. Does it? I don't know, guys. At this point, I don't know anymore. But yeah, I think we're going to something more like this. It's way more basic, but gosh, I'm just not that good at like at actual designing these things. So I don't even think we're gonna use a saddle. I think she's just going bareback on this thing because it's the prehistory. They don't even need saddles. They were just built different, you know. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Let's give this guy some color then. I kind of don't want to show too much of this actually. Let's just put a little sort of sleeve in there. It's a bit awkward looking otherwise. A little bit of a sleeve. We can add different materials as well to kind of like. Also, it looks more like a vest if it has sleeves. Like a different type of sleeve coming out of it. So. I think. Maybe not. Actually, maybe it worked better. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. Yeah, I'll just leave it like this. Yeah, we'll just leave it like this. Okay. So she's carrying the letter like, hey, sir, you forgot your letter. Her arm is a bit long. That's what was throwing me off. Her arm is a bit lanky. Even though the proportions are not very realistic, they kind of need to match the other arm. So like something more like this. Makes sense. Let's take this away because it's kind of fucking up our silhouette over here. I'm gonna make sure that this is very clear and prominent. Let's make sure the pinky works like this. And the elbow is a bit less like this. Okay, so that looks slightly better. And then we just do this. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I definitely like this dinosaur more. I don't know what you guys think, but I think this is way better. So yeah. It is a bit like a lot more basic. Like, let's be honest here. It's just a T-Rex kind of thing with a little bit of feathers, but yeah, I'm not very good at this design thing, so like this creature design thing, so I think we're gonna stick with simple. It's better to do something that's a bit cliche and do it well than like do something very complicated and do it poorly, I think. So yeah. Art is all about the execution at the end of the day. Ideas are cool, but if you can't execute your idea properly, then it kind of sucks. So, not that you shouldn't try. Do try. Sounds like I'm saying don't try, guys. Just do corporate shit. But no, no, no. Like, do try to do something unique. It's just sometimes it's okay to be a bit non-unique. So I think we're gonna give her some eye makeup. Maybe not. That was the thing I really did like about the paradox Pokemon, like the past paradox Pokemon, in like that one Pokemon game. The fact that they all had like eye makeup, I found that very very cute, and very very funny. So let's make the eye a bit less round and make it like more just a round and actually like eye shaped eye. It just happens to be in a very kind of like position. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's nice. Yes, yes. Okay. So this, I don't know if I'm gonna make this like more of a horn or more of a crest, but like it's essentially me trying to imitate that thing that like pigeons have on top of their beak, and also because I feel like if it's too flat, it's gonna be a little bit uninteresting. So I'm just gonna go with something a bit like this. Yeah, a little bit like that, and then the big kind of like brow over here that leads to the back of the head, and the nostrils coming in here. Dip, dip. Okay, something like that. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I like this guy. He's cute. Cute little dino. Hmm. It's hard, man, to make these kind of like dinosaur looking things. Maybe just something like this. Take a bit more of a beak like thing going on. Yeah, I don't know. Patterns. Guess we can think around those later. I do like this. Okay, anyways. Getting lost in the details again. Let's get to the jaw. I think we're gonna do closed mouth for this. I know we're doing open mouth a lot, but I feel like this feels nicer. I am speed. I do want him to look a bit more bubbly and cute. I feel if the expression is too intense, it might look a bit evil, and I do not want it to look evil. I want it to look very friendly and cute. Cute friendly dino. Yeah, okay. Feather pot time. Let's do these nice feathery shapes. I think this is going to be a fun thing to color. I don't actually know what I'm going to go with when it comes to colors. I might go a bit warm too, honestly, kind of like we did last week. Maybe some, I mean, maybe some purples though for like the dino to try and make them look more pigeony. Some like gray purple thing. Like something like that. Yeah. I think, yeah. Mm. Big fluffy neck. Coming down all the way. Oh, he's a big fluffy boy. I love him actually. Yeah. I'm really happy I did a last redesign. I think he looks very cute. And he looks very, very cute now. Yeah, that's very cute. Also, he looks like generally soft and nice to ride, so I feel like not having a saddle looks nicer when he's like this fluffy. He looks like he'd be quite comfortable to sit on. Yeah. Oh, big stretch. Oh, you guys are not telling me to drink today, and I'm forgetting to do it. Mm. Okay. 2 hour mark, and we haven't finished the line art yet. Oh no. Or nor clear. Let's go pretty wide, big, and simple with these shapes. I don't want to get too caught up in the details of the anatomy because I don't know enough about it to actually do it justice. So I'm gonna try and go big and simple. Okay, something like this. And then for the claws, just this, I guess. I don't know. Like they're still claws, but they kind of have to be a little friendly looking. Maybe, I don't know. I'm so bad at creature design, guys. Oh man. One of my favorite character designers is absolutely goated when it comes to making cute creature designs. I should really try to do some studies of his stuff. Because, like, this is pretty sad. Yeah, sure. Something like that, sure. Why not? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Okay. So a little bit of feathers here, kind of like going off into like a more reptilian kind of skin. I don't want to like full on give like a break between, a very solid break between the feathers and the scales. I think I want to keep like a little bit of vagueness to where they start and end, just because I don't really want to be rendering feathers today, like at all, like in the slightest. So I'm just gonna be keeping it a little bit vague, and that's fine for cartoony reasons. Um, yeah, something like that. Yes, okay, cool. And we're close to getting these ones. Like some of that. I don't know. Hey, I really should be studying more of these animal stuffs to create some more, like, even if it's like stylized, kind of like believable anatomy. I mean, at the end of the day, stylization is kind of harder than kind of like drawing things as they are when it comes to like you coming up with stylization. If you're copying someone else's stylization, it could be very simple because stylization can get very simplified. But if you're like trying to come up with your own way of stylizing things, you kind of have to understand what those things actually look like in order to stylize them. And I'm clearly not very well versed in like actual like creature anatomy outside of like big picture stuff. So it's quite messy when it comes to the stylization. But I think for our purposes today, kind of sort of works because it's very cartoony. So I might be getting away with it. I do have a lot of references which help a lot, but it's true, it's not very good. So okay, do. Amazing. Okay, so something like this, we're definitely gonna do. I think the kind of like little flag at the back, maybe with like a postal symbol on it, and we'll do the eye. It's like big eye, big cute kind of eye thing. There we go. Um, maybe looking forward a bit more. Mm, there we go. Yeah, something like that. Cool. Very cute. Have to round it out a little bit. I think I made it too blocky. Doop. Okay, something more like that, I think. That works quite well. Amazing. Okay, so let's do the thing and then we can get to painting. Let's do the little banner. Again, with the little banner, I'm kind of going to use the kind of like rope kind of thing that we did there. The kind of like simple, more kind of fibrous kind of rope vibe. Something like that, and then essentially just like crossing it like a braid. Kind of glad we didn't do braids for the hair actually, because then we can have the braid be more prevalent when it comes to things like the rope and stuff. Yeah, something like this. So yeah, so we can have some braided rope be like the big fiber there. like big fiber rope, and even have like little bits of the actual like fibers coming out like that. And then like more of a leathery kind of rope here for this one to have like a little bit of variety. Again, textures and like material is a big part of like making this thing feel prehistoric, apart from the fact that we have like a big old dinosaur there. I think like adding like different materials and stuff is what really is gonna sell it. So yeah. Okay, so then the actual like banner over here. Just flowing in the wind. Uh, there's a little fold over here. And then pretty torn edges, because again, we're stereotyping the idea of prehistory. Big old stereotype kind of vibes. And then like maybe a little holes, a couple of holes over here and there. There you go. I think that works. And that kind of like reads us the thing. We might move this leaf from here to somewhere more like there. Just so we can actually put like a big symbol in there of some sort. Okay. So we basically got the liners. Amazing. This line is a bit too thin over here. And I forgot to delete this bit. Ouch. Delete this bit from under the ropes. This line it's a tiny bit too thin compared to everything around us. Because I keep kind of like moving my like thickness around a little bit. That's fine. Something like that. Okay, cool. There we go. Now we got it. Okay, so I think we basically essentially have our character now. Gosh, there's so many drafts. We got so many drafts today. Just as a reminder, this is what we started with. This is the creature we started off with. Uh, and this is what we've ended up with. So quite different, but you know, we did a little bit of experimenting, which is fun. Now let's actually get to some coloring. Let's do the fun part. Like very much like the mermaid from last week. I don't think I'm gonna go too in depth with like shading or anything like that. I think we're gonna keep it quite flat. Both for the second time and also for the fact that like it's a pretty complex drawing. There's a big dinosaur in it, so I want to be shading a dinosaur. So yeah, it's gonna be quite flat, but it's gonna have its charm hopefully. To be fair, like to be honest with you guys, the mermaid that I did last week is one of the favorite things, my favorite things I've done in a while. So it's yeah, I don't mind keeping it a little bit simple. Okay. So I do this thing when I color, which is where essentially I just go over with like white to color in everything and create like a little layer for myself. So then I could like just color inside there and not worry too much about coloring outside the lines. I just like alpha lock it essentially. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But yeah. Oh man. Anyways, how are you guys keeping up? How's everything going? I was thinking I need to do a couple things before the end of the month. I want to redraw the little bee icon from our Discord to be rainbow themed because it's June and I can't believe I haven't done that because it's so obvious and so funny and adorable. So we can have a little bit of a rainbow bee with us. We can even do it to the little bee over here in the corner. And I was thinking of trying to it's a bit technical and I'm a bit focused on the classes this month because we're doing character design and stuff and like between classes and commissions I don't have that much time to be honest, but I was thinking of how it'd be funny to do different versions of my PNG tuber um, like very drastic transformations that I might make like leave it in your guys' hands to activate and stuff. As some of you know, I do a couple of voices. So I was thinking maybe doing like a little goofy version of it, or even like a little Kermit the Frog version of it. And you guys can like use this the little stream point thing system to kind of like turn me into Goofy or Kermit the Frog, and I'll be forced to do the impression for X amount of time. Yeah, I think that could be fun. But but yeah, I need to find the time to actually do it because gosh, yeah, I have I'm working on a couple commissions at the moment. I am making sure the like putting a lot of effort into making sure all the classes are going smooth and stuff, and I can give as much as I can to possible to the classes because at the end of the day, people are paying for them, so I want to give them as much value as I can. Um, I got a lot of feedback and stuff to give, and yeah, just yeah, it's like a bunch of stuff, and the streams while they're a bit less effort than the classes because I don't actually have to prep as much, I do prep for them and I do have to come up with a bunch of ideas of what the heck I could be drawing for you guys and actually doing it, which arguably is the hardest part, but at least that's the kind of the point of the stream, I guess. So yeah, I do need to come up with some more less like low effort stream stuff because gosh darn it, yeah. But yeah, no, still very much enjoying having you guys around while I do these things. Don't think I would draw outside of work as much if it wasn't for this. So I mean, technically this is work, but doesn't pay, so it doesn't really count as work, does it? And if I'm gonna fuck up, I'll fuck up on stream for sure. So if you guys want to make me see make 1,000 mistakes, like kind of like I did today with the dinosaur design, honestly. Stream is a good place to go to see me make mistakes. It's not a very complex design, honestly, but I think it kind of works to achieve the vibe that we are going for, which is a prehistoric mailman. Like, yeah, she does look like a mailman. She is delivering mail, and this is very, like, incredibly obviously prehistoric. So I think we kind of achieved our goals. Is adding a big old dinosaur kind of a cop out? Some would argue yes. I would agree with those people, but it's okay. Copping out is a very big part of art. Now, sometimes when it comes to like things like character design, it's good to be obvious. If you're too subtle with things, the actual like intentionality behind your design might get completely lost. It's fine to add subtlety to like certain details or things that are not important to people, like for people to understand if they don't catch them. But I feel like the more subtle you make your design decisions, um, the less clear your visual communication becomes. And yeah, you don't want to make your visual communication unclear. You want to keep it as clear as possible. That's kind of what we're discussing a lot of this week during the classes. So, do 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 do. Oh, also that reminds me, I need to update the Patreon because I wanted to do a thing where essentially each time I teach a class, I slash the price of the monthly subscription, just in case someone wants to join for like a later class. They're essentially only paying for the classes they're taking. I forgot to do that, but I need to do that. Just in case someone's like, oh, I can't make it to the first class of the month, but I can certainly make it to the other three. Wouldn't recommend it because you kind of, especially the way I'm doing it, I'm kind of like making sure that like you buying a whole month of classes is worth it. So I'm kind of structuring them so like they are very much follow-ups of one another and they complement each other, but still, it's a possibility. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Also for anyone new, we have a Patreon and we do illustration mentorships every weekend. Hence what the heck am I even talking about? That's what the heck I'm even talking about. Um, I do teach classes. I used to teach classes for an online company, and I no longer work with them for a lot of different reasons. And I've decided to kind of like teach classes on my own, which is nice. Get less people, but I do have a lot more control of how things are done, and hopefully I'm able to make the value for you guys a lot better. So yeah, if you guys want to learn illustration, just check out what we're even teaching and what we're learning about. I have on the Discord a little schedule of different classes are going to be about and stuff like that. So in case you're like if you're not interested, you don't actually go take the classes. But yeah. And also like on the Patreon, if you want to do recording and learning, like recorded learning for some reason or another, um, there's two different ways of doing it. Like you can get like a membership where you essentially get like live feedback, not live feedback, but like feedback for your classes, and access to essentially all the recordings, the live recordings of the classes, as well as like older classes that I upload onto the Patreon. Or you could like just look at whatever classes I've uploaded to the Patreon, see if anything's interesting to you, and get those. I think they're 50% off at the moment, so $5 for a 2 hour class. So if you guys are interested in that, check out the Patreon. I should probably put a link to it. I do not have a link to it at hand. Great stuff. I can't do this without Vin. I can't wait for her to be back. Miss her so much. Maybe if I start drawing sexy vampire boys, she will show up. She will come back to us. She will return. The prodigal child. Okay, think I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, amazing. Okay. Nope. What didn't I close off? Is it here? It's somewhere in here. I didn't close it. Nope, it's not. That all seems pretty closed off to me. Just lower this a lot. Where are you escaping? This all seems very connected. I'll just give more heft to this, I guess. But like, oh, here we are. There we go. Found it. Found the place that wasn't connected. I don't tend to connect my lines in my line art, as you can see. That's kind of why I have to do this. Some people are able to just, you know, fill in their lines. I cannot really do that. So just for anyone who's new, this is kind of how I go about coloring, because I know a lot of people ask exactly how, like, what steps you take to get the whatever style you do kind of thing. So this is how I do it. I essentially have the thing you've seen me color in. I color in the lines themselves as well, and I have them over the thing. So essentially, like if I lower the opacity of the lines, you have the color underneath. And that's because I like my lines to be colored. And the way I achieve that is by making two copies of the line. One of them is going to be a very dark purple. I found this out in like a ages ago in like a Pinterest tutorial thing, and I kind of adapted it after a while. But I essentially set it to like overlay really dark purple, and then lower the opacity of the black one, and that's pretty much how I color. And then I would just color over here. So yeah, in case you were wondering how I go about that, but yeah. So I think blue is going to be a big part of our color scheme. Pigeons are kind of bluish and very much the kind of look of a postman, post person is very like navy, at least like a pretty like desaturated kind of navy thing. So I think in contrast to our mermaids last week, Sorry. We're going to be going for something a bit more blue today, I think. So yeah, this is our post lady. We're gonna let's get like a lighter background over here. And yeah, and let's start like coloring her. So the pigeon thing, T-Rex thing. Um, I kind of want to color him like a pigeon, just to give those vibes off of like this is a messenger pigeon. They're supposed to look like a messenger pigeon. So I think we're gonna just kind of go with these kind of like grays, for them. We're gonna make them a bit saturated because we want to make this kind of cutesy and nice. So I think we're gonna go for pretty saturated grays, like go for something a bit more bluish and stuff like that, and kind of like work from there. Gonna go quite broad just to begin with, to kind of like get ideas, like the ideas down. But I think something a little bit like this is gonna work pretty good for us. With having those kind of like darker like purples suddenly appearing from like the feathering kind of stuff. So let's get like a more airbrush to do a little bit of like a little bit more like transitions kind of thing. Yeah, something more like that. I'll make the transition a bit looser. Something darker, I think, like this works kind of well. Let's get this kind of in-between color more here for the legs. Maybe something more like this for the legs. Something more like that. We're still like not super dark, but we do get to differentiate the legs a little bit from the rest of the body. And then the bottom is going to be more blue, I think. Something like that. Yeah, something like it's not a very saturated. I don't know. Maybe we should go the opposite and actually make it very saturated. But I think like when I think of a pigeon, I think of that like more gray kind of look that pigeons have. We might go for some of like that iridescent thing they get like on the front of the feathers maybe, but I don't think I want to go too saturated with the pigeon. I think we're going to add pops of color to her, but not overall make her too saturated. But yeah, keep it within these kind of blues, definitely. Okay, so a little bit of this, and that. Doop. Okay, kind of like that. And then a bit of a softer transition there with the feathers and stuff, but just the harder ones over here. Being a bit too careful. I don't want to be too. I don't want to get too bogged down in things, in the details. So a bit of a softer transition here. Once we get to the tail, and then like this, like more light gray blue, definitely on the tips of the legs and stuff. I think for sure, to add a little nice bit of brightness, and definitely around the head and the beak. Like that. There we go. Something like that, I think. Definitely keeping the feathers dark. Having that like more transitional kind of thing. I think that's okay-ish. Let's play around with the color dodge stuff a little bit. Yeah. Maybe something like that's a bit more bright. Okay. So we do want to add a little bit of this idea of them. Do you know how they have like this kind of like almost greenish rainbow thing going on sometimes within the feathers? I think I want to add a little bit of that. Kind of like these shapes. Maybe even like on this top bit actually. The edges of the feathers might be a good idea. Does have some purplish kind of vibes as well. It's like some of these feathers create this kind of like thing. Remember when I said I didn't want to do feather textures? And then I'm immediately doing feather textures, yeah. Something like this, I think. I've drawn this another layer because I kind of want to blend the bottoms in a little bit by deleting them with a soft eraser. Just a tiny little bit. And then we set them to screen to give this kind of like pop kind of thing. But then also maybe like a more purplish kind of like color, like magenta-ish. So like it can transition from, like it gets to the green but from a magenta. I don't know how good this is gonna look. I've never drawn this iridescent thing before, and I'm looking at like live reference, so like it might be a bad idea to stylize it like this, but we gonna sure try. We sure as hell going to try. So if I set this to screen, let's see how you look. Yeah, something like that. Actually, I don't dislike it. Like it's a lot. Maybe a bit more subtle like that could be nicer, but yeah, I think it's pretty good, honestly. And then like for the pigeon itself, like it tends to have a darker head too, to be honest. So we might darken the head up a bit, like maybe something a bit more purplish, but also like desaturated. Like go for a darker head too. Like way darker than that. I think we need to go darker. I think so. Yeah. Something like this. Also implying a little bit of featheriness. Featheriness going wrong. Maybe introduce like a lighter color for the bottom of the jaw though. Just a little bit lighter. I don't know what you guys think. Surreal is oh, it's just spam. Never mind. I was gonna say welcome new viewer, but it is not a new viewer. It is just spam. Let me delete that if I'm able to delete that. Doop, doop, doop. I don't know how to delete this. I've deleted comments before. How come I can't do it? I do not know. There we go. Haha, did it. Okay. I knew how to, but I just forgot. It's fine. So just a bit of a lighter thing, I think, for the bottom of the jaw. Just to differentiate it a little bit and maybe like even actually give it like a bit of a beak through coloring. Not 100%. Oof. It's certainly a decision to make. I don't know. I think we're gonna give it a little bit of a warm magenta color to the eye though. Because pigeons have that like orangey type of eye from what I'm saying, so maybe that looks a bit too aggressive. Maybe we go full on warm and have orange be like our highlight color. It's way too much, isn't it? I think so. Let's see. I don't know. Do not know about this. Maybe if we do an off-white that has a little bit of orange in it, we still get the white of the eye. effect without going too wild with it. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Okay, cool. And then we also do the, you can also do the class. I'm going a bit simplistic with it. I'm just trying to honestly find a color scheme. It's kind of hard, especially when you have nothing planned. But you know, it's something. I don't know if I like this section. It's just, yeah, it's a bit too much. I don't know if I even like having the face be this dark. I think I liked it more when it was light. It's less pigeony, but I like it more. Maybe. Don't know anymore. Oh no. I'm starting to get to that point of every stream where I've been drawing for a while, so my brain's starting to shut off completely. Let's see what happens if I give you a little bit of a beak looking thing for your beak looking stuff. Maybe I should have just not made him look too much like a pigeon. That maybe I just like move away from the pigeon comparisons. Or just look at other types of pigeons. There are like brown pigeons and stuff, so like with warmer colors. That might make her like outfit actually contrast more. So maybe that would have been a good idea. Maybe still is. I mean, it's still possible for sure. All I need to do is recolor things. So I don't dislike this kind of like lighter area here. It's not bad. Okay, I'm gonna try brown right now. Let's see, reddish brown. What do you do for me? I kind of love that a lot more. And I think that's gonna make the actual like blue of the post office thing look a lot more contrasting. We might go reddish brown instead. Or nor clear. Questions. This is why normally you have a little bit of a palette ready. I do not have a little bit of a palette ready. How long are we into this? So that's 5:40. Okay. So we're essentially almost 6 hours in, aren't we? 3, 4, 5. The time change is getting my head off. No, we're 3 hours in. Okay. 3 hours in is not that bad. Maybe I do go for a warmer palette though, because I don't necessarily need her to be wearing blue. I just need her to look like she's wearing blue. So like I could go for something a lot warmer, like something like this, and just like imply that she's wearing blue by using something that's like a dark purple kind of vibes, something of that sort. Maybe something like this, kind of like imply that that's blue without it actually making it blue. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I think that's better. Definitely. Okay, let's kind of ignore the dinosaur a little bit right now because I'm not loving what I was doing with it. Let's focus on our little main character here. Let's get her a nice uniform that looks blue without being blue. I want to have a darker skin tone all day long in the sun. Maybe very dark hair. We already did like red heads the other day, so maybe a really desaturated thing to make it look a little black, but still keeping it within the red. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Yeah, that's nicer. Okay, I'm gonna work with a warm color palette instead. I think I was going a bit too literal And like the thing that's fun about like actual colors and color theory, which is a pain in the butt, but like the thing that's actually nice about it is going a lot more not literal with your colors. Like grass doesn't have to be green. Like that was a big thing we did the other day where like all of the grass was yellow, but it looked green just in comparison to everything around it. So I think we're gonna do that. And instead of actually going true blue, we're gonna go very warm with it and just pretend that we have blue when it's actually just like a very desaturated purple. Yeah, I think that's way better. Yeah, this is already looking cooler. Okay, this is already looking really nice. Let's do a bit darker for the eyebrow. Yeah. Yeah, I really like this a lot more. So like if we want to go for like something blue, we could go something here or even a little like more desaturated and like here. If we want to go something like that, I think this should read us more bluish. Yeah, this reads it blue, doesn't it? Yeah, we could even more purple and just keep it desaturated. That reads very blue. That's perfect. Amazing. I think this is a lot better. Yeah, 100%. Let's do a darker one here for the visor thing, the cap. This is barely going to be visible, but you know, I think that's definitely better. Kind of like blue. And we can play around with having other warmer colors around to make the blue feel even bluer. Yeah. And also, like I said, I want to do some textural stuff of like adding like some stripes or some like leopard print and stuff to things because that always looks stereotypically um of this kind of prehistoric vibe. So yeah, between this and this, I am definitely liking this a lot more. So how about this a little lighter, like this, a little more red? How's this for like a light blue? Yeah, yeah. Within the context, it kind of works. I keep forgetting about the power of color theory being absolutely insane. Now if we go for like a really desaturated yellow as well, we can make it this look very green. I don't know if we want it to look that green though. Hmm. It looks very lime green for like the parts that are made of like the hemp rope. Maybe a bit less like that. Yeah, that's nicer. Do. Yeah, that's a lot nicer, I think. It's so fun, color theory. I keep forgetting about using it. Okay, something like that for sure. And then we use a more kind of like white-ish with a bit more red for the bones. Yep, that's nicer. These more pastel colors are definitely nicer. Let's get a bit darker with it though. Yeah, I like this. Okay, cool. And we can use these same ones over here to create a little bit of lightness, just a little darker because I don't want to call that much attention to them. There we go. Yeah, nice. Okay, so I think I also want to do the pants in blue, just to keep that blue throughout the uniform. Because, it's the main postal color kind of thing that we're thinking about. Um, I don't think I'm gonna make the bag blue, but I might make this section of the bag blue, or maybe the flag itself blue. Well, not blue, whatever the fuck this dark magenta is. Yeah, definitely. Um, Something like this for the flag to like tie it on all together a little bit like this, and maybe a lighter version of this and a more reddish version of this for this bit. Yeah, something like that, just to like make these like a little spotty throughout. We could bring this color here, just for that bit, or even the undershirt. We'll lighten it a bit actually. Let's lighten it a little bit like that. Could actually work. No, I kind of like the dark. Yeah, like that. Could work it as the undershirt for this, although that's a bit too unnoticeable though. Oh, I forgot to paint her midriff. That's why that looks weird. Doop doop. Okay. Maybe something more white looking to make it look like a proper white shirt kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. And that's also coming in under here, under the bag sleeve thing. Cool. And we can use this bit over here for this part. The fluff. Just to keep it kind of consistent. I like reusing colors a lot because it kind of like helps with keeping that consistency throughout a thing. This one might be a bit too white. So let's darken it a little bit more because I don't want it to call that much attention to itself compared to the other colors around it. Yeah, make it a bit colder like that. Yeah, maybe even. We're just making colors cold here by instead of making them cold, we're essentially desaturating them, bringing them closer to a gray when you're surrounded by a lot of like really bright, like really warm colors. It just makes it look more cold instantly. Even though you're not really using a cold color, like we're using warm colors, we're just desaturating them, but within the context, it makes them read as cold. Maybe something like this for the bag. I'm not sure about the bag yet because I wanted to contrast with this, which is kind of nice for that. But it also kind of needs to contrast with the dino. And I'm not 100% sure what the dino's color is going to be yet. So maybe we do something like this. Make it a very dark bag. Because I think that's going to help with the contrast. Yeah, I'm really stumped on the color of the dino. Because I want to make him look like I really want to make him look like a pigeon, but I also think that might be too cold. And making him warmer is gonna make the blues of our postal worker pop a little more. So like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Hmm. But I do probably want to make him. Why is my thing not at 100% saturation? That's annoying. Please be at 100%. Thank you. I don't want to do layers. I just want to do flat colors. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I want it to be the most saturated thing though, I think, the dino. Like maybe a very fun color, or at least look the most saturated, even if he's not really, just in comparison to everything else. Oh, thank you, Black Blue Teal. Welcome, by the way. Welcome back. Yeah, we're trying our best. Mm. Oh, my partner just showed to me. Oh, hydrate, thank you. I was literally just doing that. My partner just sent me an audio, but I gave her the keys today, so I don't know if she's just telling me she's coming over or not. I'm not gonna listen to it yet, but I will blow my nose. Nose blown. Okay. So yeah, honestly, I'm kind of vibing with her. She looks really cute. That back might be a bit too dark. Now with this, or this might be a bit too light. Yeah, I'm not sure about this anymore. It needs to be more desaturated. Yeah. Uh, Maybe that makes it too close to the hair, actually. Mm. Not 100% sure about the bag anymore. Um, maybe we go lighter actually. Make it like out of the hemp thing. I don't like that either. No, I do like it being darker. I'm just not 100% sure on it. This is way too dark. Maybe. No, actually, that does look nice. Okay, so then maybe we do a very desaturated this for it. Well, this is almost blue, so what if we bring that up? Yeah, we touch the reds, and then we do a saturated version of that. Okay, that looks better. That's nicer. Okay, and on the inside of the bag, we're going to have all these green letters, which are just going to be yellow. What colors on the dino? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I wanted to make him look like a pigeon, but when we started doing that, we're using a lot of cold colors, and I don't like the way it's looking. So I'm really not sure. I might go for like a big bright red kind of vibe, maybe a yellowish. We did that last stream with the mermaid tail, with like a really like nice yellow. So maybe we do a yellow for it as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, I think we're gonna try out like a yellow or a red thing. Maybe have him like a little bit saturated and stuff to like make him like look really, friendly and stuff. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, that definitely looks good for the green. I think I might go even greener for it. Yeah, even greener to make it pop even more. So the letters are gonna be very green because they're made of leaves. I love how like most of the colors I want to go for are cold, but I've chosen a warm palette. I just kind of like the vibes more. Like it just does look nicer, doesn't it? I don't know. At least to me, it looks way nicer. I do want to get a little bit of variation with the greens, so this one and that one and that one. That's nice. And then kind of like a lighter color for the inside of the pelt thing. I think going with the like our blue here works really well because it's the same as our uniform, but here it looks a lot lighter. And it again ties the whole like blue for Postman thing around. So yeah. What was that blue layer? So that blue layer was my first attempt at coloring black blue tea. Yeah, black blue teal. This was my first attempt. I started doing this. I did not like how it was going, and I decided to start with her instead and go a lot more warmer. Because I don't know. Trying to pick the opposite colors to what most things are colored, it kind of weirdly works better. So I'm trying to do that now in my artistic journey. I had a period where I was experimenting with trying to make the colors as like bright as like as saturated as humanly possible and make them work regardless. And now I'm in the period where I kind of just wanna make the colors like the opposite of what they're supposed to be. Like play with that color theory of like, hey, this is not green, but it looks green. I literally started that journey last week, but I'm kind of vibing with it, so I think I'm gonna try and stick to it. I think it's gonna really give my drawings a lot of interest. So we're gonna see we're gonna see what how much of a failure that ends up being or not. But yeah, that's at least the goal for now. So we'll see. Anyway, something like this, something like that. I'm gonna use this kind of like off-white here for like the bone things, like the little teeth bones that are all over the place. And this one over here as well. I think that works quite well. And I'm probably gonna use this white as, which isn't a white, but as like a thing to then like do the post office logo, which is probably just gonna be the most normal post office logo you've ever seen, which is just a letter. because drawing logos is hard, but drawing logos in a flag that's being strung open by the wind is even harder. So yeah, something like this ish. I think something like this ish. Yes, maybe. I think that's pretty good. Maybe. And yeah, and I'm gonna like just have a little bit of like paint dots and stuff from the fact that it was painted by hand and stuff. So just little splashes and stuff to make sure that it looks pretty rough. Just because that's kind of the aesthetic of the world that we are designing. Something like that, I think, works quite good. Yeah, there we go. That's our little like logo. Okay, so now we kind of have to call it a dinosaur. Are you listening to this music or is it only the stream? I'm listening to the music as well. I have the little dude. That's kind of why I sound so sleepy, because this lo-fi is kind of sleepy-ish. It's Zelda lo-fi. That's it. Unless there's a different music playing, in which case it's not me. But yeah, I have the headphones on and I'm listening to it, which is not helping. It's getting me sleepier. Okay, let us draw the rest of the leaves flying in the wind. Yes, she's technically losing half of her mail as she runs, but I feel like it fits the chaotic character that we've designed, so she seems very enthusiastic, not necessarily very capable, so just a little bit of that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now comes the decision of what the heck we're gonna do with this dinosaur. I'm scared. I don't know. Oh, let's try a nice orangey yellow, maybe. That's a friendly color. Okay, let's see how bad this goes. Mm, mm, mm. I feel like that's too saturated. I feel like that's way too saturated. I don't know. Maybe something more desaturated, more like this. Kind of reads a little bit like yellow. Yeah, without being yellow. Mm. This is gonna be tough. But the heavy metal sleep itself would go take a nap. Oh man. I wish I knew any good heavy metal, but I can change for something different. The thing is I made it so that like if I do play something, it won't automatically like be recorded for the actual VOD. So like we can play some more like some less slow music actually. Let's see how this goes. Okay, nice. This is my playlist called Poolside Mirage. Um, I don't know. I'm a bit of a tryhard sometimes. That's the only explanation I have for that. Okay. Um, hmm. I'm just staring at this guy now. Like, I really don't know. I really don't know what I'm gonna do. Hmm. I mean, I love her and her color scheme, and I think I managed to make blue be a thing within a warm palette, so I'm happy about that. This like desaturated magenta definitely reads as blue, so that's nice. But I don't know. I don't know about this guy. Let's just color him yellow entirely and think about it. See how that contrasts with her and stuff. Also, I need to do the little bangle things. I think I'll probably go with green for those, so. Also, is this? Yeah. Like Blue Teal likes this one. Nice. Yeah, I should start doing more different playlists when I draw. It's just because it's like hours and hours. I kind of like don't want to have to be thinking about what's playing or like, oh, my playlist ended. I need to find something else kind of thing. My playlists are not that big, so I just kind of play lo-fi on repeat. At most, I change the vibe of lo-fi that we're playing, but you know. Hey, Wolfer, welcome, welcome. What is blues or greens in the parts of feathers or some other patches? That's not a bad idea. Like adding like a little bit of that blue to the feathers. Yeah, I was generally thinking of like adding blues to the feathers. Um, that could contrast really well with the yellow, like those like desaturated things on like the most puffy areas like here. I just color him yellow entirely and then try a couple different things, see how we go. But yeah, I think it's looking good though. It's definitely not as hopeless as I thought it was when I started with the blue color scheme because I generally was like pretty like oh no, oh no 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 no. So it's definitely not look as bad now. Haven't even added like a lot of the patterns and stuff. Well, I see the shapes for the design like we discussed in class. Yes, nice, nice, nice. Welcome. I know who you are now. Ha 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 ha. No, the Wolfer 561 did not give it away, Silver Moon. I think it's Silver Moon, right? If it's Guy, I'm surprised about the Wolfer 561. But yeah, big shapes, lots of shapes, very round, very cutesy. Um, God, we're gonna talk about color schemes this weekend, so that's I got it right. Yeah, amazing. We're gonna talk about color schemes this weekend, so get ready for that because color theory is a hell of a beast. But we're gonna try and do cohesive little color schemes with characters. And like honestly, the best advice I could give when like starting off with like character color schemes and stuff is maybe like looking at really good color schemes that already exist and trying to imitate those to kind of understand why they've made those kind of decisions that they've made. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a bunch of that. Still gotta give you guys feedback though, but I have the whole of tomorrow to do that. Glad that everyone submitted though. That's really awesome. I was worried you guys were gonna submit all your feedback on Saturday, and I have a friend's birthday on Saturday, so I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to do that all. But no, no, no. I get to take it slow and give you guys a lot of feedback on Friday, so very happy about that. Um, doop, 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 doop. You often design female characters. I often do. Yeah, I don't know why. I just like them more. I don't know. This is specifically a postman, and I've made them a postwoman. Um, I don't know, but I do often design female characters. That is very accurate. Um, well, I looked at a lot of references and I put the references in the Discord group. Oh, nice. I've been working on the design of the character. Nice, amazing. That's perfect. That's fantastic. I can't wait to see the changes you've made and the different like versions you've made and stuff. We're essentially like this not tomorrow on Sunday we're gonna be choosing like one of the three designs to kind of like focus on and like work on that one further. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna add like patterns to them, like maybe like make them like tiger, give them tiger stripes or something like I don't know, make them look like a little bit of a fluffy doggo. I think I'm gonna do that. Just screw the pigeon inspiration, I guess. Yeah, I think I might do that. Well, I rounded up to one character design, but I did include all the examples. Nice, perfect. That's great because that's kind of like what we're going to be doing the thing, and I've already seen like your three versions and stuff. So like, the goal was for like on the first class do those like three versions of the same character to kind of like push ourselves to explore and not get stuck with one character. Kind of like do I do always because I always stick to the one character on stream. But yeah, the idea is to kind of like explore different versions before you commit to one of them. So yeah, no, that's fine. I've seen you explore them. So do. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of like a little bit of a fade here. A bit of a color fade here. So from this to that. For the feathers, kind of like just gonna fade there at the top, and then I'm gonna do something similar at the bottom here, but there's less stuff in the way, so I can be a bit more. But yeah, I have no idea why I do more female characters than I do male ones. I think it was one of those things where like when I first started, I drew a lot of female characters because I was a teenager, and then like I kind of like doing it more. But no, for work, a lot of the times I get asked for like drawing male characters and things like that, and I don't have that many issues doing it. It's just I don't know, kind of like female characters more. They're more fun. Do, 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 do. I have to draw a guy at least this week, at least one guy. Also, I feel like female characters don't like. There's not enough female protagonists, so it's just kind of nice to have more, even if it's my weird little nothingness collection of character designs. Blip. So I'm lightening this up a little bit to create like that little bit of like color contrast kind of thing. I'm gonna add some like little texture over here kind of thing for the feathers. And give this little sensation of something. Yeah. Like I don't hate it with the orange. It's not perfect, but I think I might want to darken it a little bit. Like maybe redden it a little bit. Maybe desaturate it a little bit as well. Yeah. Maybe as a whole though. Let me do this like almost like as a whole, the whole thing. Do you guys like the playlist, by the way? Just though I thought I showed my way of thinking. That's really smart. I like seeing like the references and like the reasons you've made decisions and stuff because it means that when I'm giving feedback, I'm not just like being like, oh, why does this look like this? It's like, oh no, I know why you made it look like that. So like my feedback might be, oh, this is how you can make it look more like that, rather than why is this like this, you know? I think desaturating him a little bit like this could work. Just a little bit less white contrast and darkening. Tiny hours. Maybe. Maybe. Just a little bit of shading. Just a little bit. Just really soft. Okay. And then I can do this fun thing over here of carving these out. I'm making the feathers look a bit more volumetric. There you go. Amazing. Okay, I think I'm gonna try keep it kind of simple. I don't want to complicate him too much. I don't. I'm not in love with this design, but maybe adding the bits of green and blue, like you were saying before, could definitely help. I'm not in love with the color scheme. I love her. She's great. She's perfect. But the dino, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit plain, which is kind of what I was going for, but I don't know. It feels a bit too plain now. So maybe adding a little bit of this green to the design could help. Let's see. Also, I'm gonna do a little bit of highlighting here of the stem of the leaf. Okay, so maybe adding a little bit of this blue. Let me look at dinosaur patterns. I have several that I'm completely ignoring. I have so much research. Okay, so maybe some like darker face kind of markings. Maybe something on the like beak. Maybe making the beak like a thing. I go really roughly just to kind of like get an idea of what it's like before like I commit to it. Actually, yeah, that's 100% yes, because then that makes us look at it a lot more. Yep, I'm 100% doing this for sure, for sure, for sure. Okay. Yeah, and then maybe even bringing this white thing up here to kind of like create that contrast. Yeah. Oh, this is looking nice now. Okay. I like this now. Maybe not that. Dino and Girl, they look like they're besties. Yeah, they're 100% besties. We need names for these characters. I don't ever have names prepared for them. So like I think we're gonna do another Discord poll where you guys get to name them because yeah, I don't have any names for them at all. So yeah. The same way we got Annie and what was the name of the frog? Pound Cake. Best frog name ever. Same way we got Annie and Pound Cake. I think we're gonna do another poll to like name these guys as well. Let me use this lighter one over here and see how that looks. It's like a bottom thing. Oh, that's too much or not. Might be. I don't know. Maybe if we just like fade it out. Yeah, that's fine. Fade it out, I think. It gives that kind of like, yeah, that's nice. Okay. And then the eye itself, we're gonna kind of go for like a red thing, I think. Kind of similar to the skin tone of the girl. Like bring them together, maybe. Yeah. We're gonna do white first. Lighter white though. Because we actually want people to be looking at the white of this guy's eyes. This dino's eyes. Could be a girl. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl dino. Gonna do this just to like outline the actual thing. Like a dark red color. Like the actual outlines. And then actually like the inside being like this white, like that. I think this kind of works actually. Pretty happy with it. I think I'm gonna give him some blue spots throughout the body. I'm gonna try that. Like not super blue, but like something like that, you know? Like these like patterns that like are more mammalian than like reptilian, but they kind of work with this kind of like stereotype of cave people we're going for. So like stuff like that, I think it's definitely gonna add a little something. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I didn't want him to be too like I didn't want him to look like something that you would like pay too, like, I don't know, too busy. He's like really wide and has a lot of like really big empty spaces. So like we do have to do something to create a little bit of contrast there. But I don't want him to be like just a big like mess of just constant detail. So I think this is like a pretty good compromise for that. Adding like a little something without like having too much detail there, you know? Yeah, I think that's pretty cute. And then we can get like a little darker with some of them, especially in like these dark areas and stuff. Get a little bit of contrast, like that, something like that. You know, that's nice actually. And also like this weird mixture of like, you know, mammalian and avian and reptilian traits. I think works quite well for the vibe that we're going for. So yeah, I'm gonna do a more saturated version of this eye color, I think, for the eyes. Kind of red. I think that's pretty cool. Maybe a bit darker actually. Yeah, that's nice. That's fun. And then I'll just do the like pure white highlights. I try to save my pure white highlights for things like eyes. So yeah, it just gives like this really powerful contrast. I don't even know if I want to do them purely white here though. Yeah, no, I do. They're too cool. It's too good. Maybe have one over here and then one over here. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, I kind of love them. Or her. Now, I think now they're better. We forgot, and by we I mean I forgot to do the claws, so I'm gonna do those. Pretty close. Oh, dinosaurs. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I kind of love it now. Let's get to the actual like face of the main character because as you can see there's very little contrast. So what I'm gonna do is then I'm gonna ignore the very simple drawing that I've done here and go to like my typical kind of eyes and just like bring those in here to like create that little bit of contrast. So instead of just being a bubble, just like having the actual like white of the eye, it's gonna give us like a little bit of that nice contrast. And then we get to see where the other eye is, which I think it's gonna be over here. So that's nice. Gonna use this color over here for like the actual outline of the eye. And maybe this one over here for this, like the tear duct. Yeah, something like that. And then for her eye color, I'm not sure what I want for her eye color actually. I think maybe green actually. Well, this non-green. Yeah, I think this non-green kind of like works quite well. Because like it creates a lot of contrast. I don't know how realistic it is for her to have green eyes, but also she's riding a dinosaur, so it's not really a stretch at that point. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then I'll just take this same color over here for her other eye and just do the black of her over here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that looks fairly good. I'm gonna add some little bit of like red blush to her, just to make her skin feel a bit alive. To the ears and like the cheeks like that, near the eyes, and then like to her body, elbows, tips of the fingers, palm, the knees, tips of the feet, kind of thing. And then set that to multiply. and like lower the opacity a little bit, but it just creates a little bit of that blood flow. And then my typical red nose, because I do like red noses a lot. I find they're very cute. So I draw red noses in pretty much all of my characters. So she's not going to be an exception, and she's going to get her like red nose as well. Sure, thank you. There we go. It just gives her a bit more dimensionality, as you guys can see there. And then also, of course, the actual like mouth, which is gonna be like a dark pink kind of desaturated color as well. We're gonna make the tongue a bit lighter of a pink. Maybe something more like this. No, it's too similar. Maybe something more like that. And that's too desaturated. Maybe more red. That's good, I think. And then the teeth are getting the same white as the eyes. They'd be a bit more yellowish, but that's fine. And there you go. That's pretty good. And then we get our pure white, and we're gonna do the same little highlight on her as her dino friend, because she's just happy to do her job and also alive. Amazing, guys. I think I kind of did it. I don't know if this dinosaur looks like he's going that fast. Let's add a few pebbles to kind of give that feeling maybe a little bit more of motion. That does not help too much, does it? Not really. Well, you know, it's something. Okay, and let's give it a little bit of a colored background. I think we might go with a desaturated green yellow as well to like give it a little bit of a jungle sensation kind of feeling. I don't know, like a bit nice and doop. And I think that's pretty much us, guys. We kind of did it. Yeah. Maybe a bit lighter than that. There we go. We kind of did it, guys. I think this is our post woman. Who's also prehistoric. I might do a little bit of things for the hair actually. Just before we leave. Just a little bit of this. Like giving it a little bit of like strands. Giving this strands a little bit of like heft to them. To kind of like emphasize how curly her hair is. And give it a nice secondary texture like this. Like also sort of giving us a little bit of a view of the three-dimensionality of it, but mostly to try and make it like nice and messy. Something like this. Lower the opacity a lot, send it to screen. Just a tiny little bit of texture. There we go. Amazing. Didn't even do like too many stripes or like dots to her actual clothing. Uh, I talked about how that was something I was gonna do. I basically didn't do it at all. So yeah, let's add a little bit of that before we finish to kind of like get that, you know, prehistoric vibe that's like very cartoony that we were going for. Something like that. And Same kind of thing here for the cap. Okay, there we go. There we go. Amazing. Okay. I'm generally quite happy with this. Oops. But generally quite happy with this. I think we did a pretty great job. So, despite how hard this was, we got our little prehistoric postman, and we managed to stay within this kind of like cute idea that we've been kind of like keeping on this entire this entire month so far. So yeah, we'll see what next week's character is gonna be. But thank you as always for everyone that joined today. Um, yeah, just thank you so much. This was really wonderful, really chill, really nice. We kind of went pretty late. I think we've done 3.5 hours today, so I'm a bit tired, but it's just because the dino is kind of hard. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you very much. I will see you all next week. I will see some of you this Sunday class. And yeah, remember to share your stuff on Discord if you're drawing along with us. And wait, do I still have the link to Discord? No, I don't. Never mind. I thought it was like on the copy thing. It's fine. You guys can find it on the thing. I miss Vin. Thank you so much for showing up, guys. This was really fun. I will see you all next Thursday. Have a great one. Bye bye.